Lunar New Year is almost upon us, the time when the boundaries between worlds fade away. The celebration is filled with incense and the light of lanterns, heralding the start of the Great Trial. The Jade Emperor lays down the gauntlet to the most worthy commanders. He has captured the mystic spirit of the Firehorse in ancient coins. Whoever seizes them will receive many rewards and acquire incredible might that can change the balance of power in the celestial world. From February 12th through February 23rd, charge into the Jade Emperor's Challenge event. Expect dynamic 7v7 battles in Tier 8 vehicles of any type, apart from SPGs. The Great Confrontation will unfold on 4 maps. Your mission is not just to destroy enemy vehicles, but to seize coins containing the spirit of the Firehorse and deliver them to the drop zone in the enemy base. This will award you lots more points and bring your team closer to victory. If your vehicle is destroyed, you can respawn in the next round, after one of the teams delivers the spirit to the other base or destroys all enemy vehicles. In this mode, each vehicle type has unique passive abilities. Heavy tanks temporarily slow down opponents with shots and cause greater ramming damage. Tank destroyers knock the spirit off enemy vehicles. Medium tanks get an accuracy boost. And light tanks get boosted view range and concealment. Coordinate your actions, use your vehicle's strength, and protect the coin bearers. Complete missions, earn Jades, and get through the 9 event stages. And claim days of World of Tanks premium account, bonds, free XP, unique 2D styles, and an exclusive commander. You'll also get 2 free blazing treasures. These contain guaranteed rewards, themed 3D customization elements, and the chance to get rare premium vehicles, including the brand new Yongbing and Kanonenjagd Panzer II. In addition, completing the whole progression will give you a commemorative medal. The Jade Emperor awaits heroes. Harness the spirit of the Firehorse and gather all the treasure from this celebration. Good luck on the battlefield. The Year of the Firehorse is racing to us at full tilt. Get ready to celebrate and make new discoveries. Valuable resources await you in blazing treasures, like credits, personal reserves for credits, a set of 3D attachments, vibrant 2D styles, and unique premium vehicles, including some new ones. Let's start with the existing vehicles. The ISU-122-2 is a lightly armored and dynamic hunter that chooses the rhythm of battle itself. You can chip 390 HP per shot from opponents or unleash the power of 2 guns at once, while good mobility lets you quickly get out of harm's way. The AAT-60 is a master of fire support. It has great gun depression and penetration that often doesn't notice armor. If you're flexible and adapt to the situation, you can turn any fight into a firing range. The T-44-100 is a universal soldier that can do it all. A fast-firing gun and 52 km/h top speed let it engage in combat everywhere and all at once. From aggressive raids behind enemy lines to skillful defense. The UDES 03 Alt 3 is a real Swedish ninja. Its 3-show autoloader and hydropneumatic suspension make any hill a kitted-out firing position. The VZ-58 Medved is a bona fide predator. Its 4-shell autoloader deals a devastating 1,760 HP of damage in 12 seconds. The German Eric concept forgives no mistakes. It's stealthy, incredibly fast, and precise. 400 HP of damage per shot, and 270 millimeters of penetration with standard shells are the tools of a real professional. Take the high ground, spot your opponents, and then destroy them one by one while staying elusive. Now onto the newcomers. The first is the Kanonenjagdpanzer II. It's a comfortable vehicle for causing damage. Siege mode, good concealment, high penetration with standard shells for Tier 8, and 370 HP alpha damage make this German tank destroyer an excellent hunter and credit earner. And finally, the real jewel in this year's collection, a Chinese double-barreled heavy tank with jet boosters. The Yongbing. 2 guns, each causing 440 HP of damage per shot, let you flexibly combine cyclic firing and powerful salvos, keeping high firepower in any situation. And the 10 boosters, each of which works for 4 seconds, not only allow you to move around fast, but also provide tactical advantages. These let you perform sudden maneuvers, quickly change position, or catch opponents off guard with an 880 HP salvo. The Yongbing is a heavy tank for active attacks. Celebrate Lunar New Year and enjoy the riches of blazing treasures. You can get 2 of them for free by completing stages of the Jade Emperor's Challenge event. Charge into the Year of the Fire Horse with new vehicles in your collection.
Hey there, tankers! Captain Tydo here, and welcome back to another What Monthly episode. I'm here to bring you important dates, news, and updates coming up this February. Let's start off with a community favourite. Frontline returns between the 2nd and 9th of February. For those unfamiliar with the mode, it is a special game mode where players fight it out on extra large maps, fighting sector by sector, with the ability to respawn, giving you the opportunity to grind out your tier 8s and even play your premiums with same tier matchmaking. I hope you've been enjoying the current Onslaught season with its new detailed session statistics and Erlenberg map. Don't worry if you've fallen behind on any of the weekly missions. You'll still be able to catch up after the mid-season update coming early February. Also, starting this season, once you reach Gold rank, the LTC 2 will become available to purchase in the Onslaught 1 shop. The Onslaught Legend series has a new sponsor, Surfshark. Tune in on Twitch throughout the season to earn OLS token store drops, where you can claim prizes such as the
Kanonenjagdpanzer 105mm.
Thank you. You can also pick up new OLS bundles to show your support for your favourite team. If they win, your star will be automatically upgraded. Mark the 21st and 22nd of February in your calendar for the finals. It's going to be all to play for this time around. Let us know in the comments who you think is going to win, and be sure to check out the article for further dates and details. Halfway through the Onslaught season, you will also have the chance to take on the Mega Platoon with some of your favourite content creators on February 7th. If you're feeling up to the challenge, why don't you try to defeat them? Otherwise, there are always Twitch drops to be earned. Spring has nearly sprung, which means that there will be a new round of Twitch drops for the Spring token store, including the opportunity to pick up the German Tier 7 heavy tank, the VK45.03. Tune into anyone in the World of Tanks category to start earning your drops. Once earned, claim them in your Twitch drops inventory, then find the Spring token store in-game and go spend your tokens. February brings a brand new Lunar New Year event, the Jade Emperor's Challenge, returning from February 12th until the 22nd. This fast-paced, limited-time 7v7 mode has teams fighting to capture and deliver the spirit of the Fire Horse across a specially decorated map. Unique class abilities and quick rounds encourage teamwork and constant action. And of course, there'll be rewards available for the event. We'll be sharing more details closer to launch, so keep your eyes out. A new Boosteroid bundle is arriving on February 1st, perfect for commanders who want to keep playing World of Tanks even when they are away from their usual setup. It comes with a brand new culinary-themed commander, ready to serve perfectly cooked ammo racks alongside guaranteed monthly rewards. Jump into battle wherever you are and check out the World of Tanks portal for all the details. Roses are red, camos in green. This Valentine's Friday, there's streams to be seen. Roll out your tanks, bring friends along too.
With the readjustment here, is Illusia going to get another shot in towards the lower plate? Yes, that means one shot on towards the 50M. Is XC-Max going to pick it up? Good shot in towards the Cupola. It is the 1v1 we've been waiting for here, and he does it.
The OLS Season 5 is already here. The best teams are ready to head onto the battlefield. Who will you be supporting? Root for your favorites, follow their journey, and stand by them. With you on their side, they'll be unstoppable. You take hits together with them, and that means you go all the way. Behind every vehicle is a personality whose quick thinking and precise actions can change the outcome of battle. Victory is 100 shots and maneuvers, plus 1,000 emotions on the other side of the screen. Support your favorite OLS team. Be by their side. Together, until victory.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5. Banter, another day, we're getting close to the playoffs.
Yeah, that we are. We've seen some, I feel like the places into playoffs are nearly decided, so today we'll need to see if the lower team of CTR can get a bit of luck with other teams losing, but yeah, I'm excited for the playoffs.
I should be, but before we get into those play matches today, a quick shout out to our sponsor. Surfshark is the official sponsor of the Onslaught Legends Series League Season 5. We're very happy to have them supporting the tournament and bolstering the prize pool for the players to take away a little bit more winnings as well. Surfshark is a VPN that helps to keep your connection secure and private, whether you're gaming, traveling, or browsing online. It works on unlimited devices and is fast and easy to use, exactly what gamers need. For you guys at home though, Surfshark has prepared a special offer specifically for you. Just go to surfshark.com/OLS or use the code OLS upon checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. You can find all of the details through the clickable Surfshark banner on the official World of Tanks Twitch channel. Now, let's get back to the action. We already know a few things, Banter, right? We know the top 4 teams. We know...
Lotus.
Yeah, but now... on the top, things could still change.
Yeah, and that could affect some things. So, firstly, let's have a look at the play days. So, obviously, we have one more play day in this group stage coming on Thursday, the 19th of February. And then we're going through to the playoffs this weekend. But, yeah, Lotus out, down and out. Bit of a shame for them, but there's still a I believe there's still a possibility for CTR. It's a slim one, but there still is a possibility by the intervention of the Lord above.
I don't know if the Lord is going to want to intervene that much, though, to be honest with you.
No, I'm not inclined to. But I mean, CTR have shown some good showing in the OLS so far. And here we can see the bundles, the OLS supporter base, the OLS advanced, and the Oracle bundle, which of course you get to support whichever team you want by choosing their bundle. Have you chosen yours yet? You're still delaying, aren't you?
I think I'm going with Hit and Run this season.
Yeah, it's the logical one. I'm sticking with my Vulgus. I feel like they can have a comeback in this, I think. So, I can always dream.
You can dream, of course, but...
no one else can.
Those are going to stay dreams. Tokens, of course, today on Tuesday, 5 tokens, but do keep your eyes tuned for the end of the week. On the weekend, we are going to have 5+5 and 5+5. That's going to be the lion's share to your tokens, especially if you may have missed a stream or 2 for that Kronenjak Panzer, the KV-122, the Puddle, the 2D styles, the premium days, the consumables, or, of course, the personal reserves. A little bit for everybody.
Yeah, I do love a good personal reserve. But yeah, I mean, if it's completely for free, why not earn it while watching some fantastic OLS? But looking at the standings here, Weekend and Vulgar's already out. Lotus, they're being shown the door, and CTR have to. Actually, no, it's impossible for
over.
them to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fully over. They can only get 16 points maximum, so W's victory yesterday guaranteed it. So
The biggest question is first or second. If it's going to be hit and run or cashback, because Mafia getting back there, while they could still score 8 points, right? It's it's a bit unlikely.
Yeah, I mean, Cashback they had a bit of a shaky start in the beginning of the season, but they brought it back strong, and now second place, contesting with hit and run. It's a real toss-up between those two, but we've got some really, as with every day, we have some fantastic matches for you. Cashback versus Mafia up first, real heavyweight, blow for blow, but after that, W versus Hit, again, it doesn't make that much difference. I don't think Hit can catch Mafia at this point, but if Hit wins that, they will be crowned first in the group stages, and the battle for last place, I think Lotus can get equal on points with CTR, right? But I don't know about matches. It would depend on matches won.
Round difference.
Yeah, round difference. But I'm not sure. I still think CTR will probably be beating them on round difference. CTR have performed very well in this OLS with some nice and interesting tactics. A bit of a shame for them to go out. I rated them yesterday to my detriment. But yeah, we've got an interesting match right here.
We should. Cashback, they haven't looked all that flashy, but they've been very, very solid. Twilight, of course, would like to win this for his birthday as well. Although last time we saw somebody have a birthday, I think they got smacked like 4-0.
It was 4-0. It was Tarks 4-0 with Lotus, but so hopefully the birthday luck is more favorable this time. But yeah, Cashback have been quite interesting. Like you said, they haven't been very flashy. There's no victories I can really remember. I think the start of the season was quite shaky, but they absolutely spanked W, and since then they've been on a bit of a roll. But Mafia also been quite consistent. They did lose their last play day against Hit and Run in fantastic fashion with that last minute Sand River. You remember it, the monster with the RHM picking up on the lower side. So that was a fantastic game. I rewatched that yesterday actually. But yeah,
that was a crazy game.
Yeah, it really was. Less than 200 HP difference between the teams. That's how you know, like, the margins. That's a BZ heal. If a BZ heals a teammate or two, that's the difference between winning or losing. But yeah, looking at the stats, that average damage by both of these is really high, especially because Proof is playing the Inspire tank, which should really get out more damage than the E4. It's nice damage in the E4. But as you can see, Little has played 12 tanks, so he plays a lot of different ones. But Cashback's win rate is really good. Look at that, 70% almost.
Yeah, I mean, they're all across the season been very, very solid. Mafia, however, the team they're playing against is not the most flashy team either, but they can still perform when it matters for them. However, against Hit and Run, that round on Sun River will hunt them a little bit. That was a throw of the ages.
Yeah, it really was. Especially, like, these teams, you get to a level where you're so consistent that any late game where you have such an advantage should never realistically be losable. Teams like Lotus, CTR, they'll make mistakes in the late game. We saw that with CTR against Cashback on the Runeberg and it was the cliff. I'm not entirely sure what the map was. Oh, no, it was Pilsen, where they threw it away in the late game. But these types of teams shouldn't be doing that. And Mafia really did do a massive throw against Hit and Run. Especially, it's like, you can lose games, but you don't lose the derby in that fashion.
No, that Sun River game was... I mean, it was well played by Monster, but Mafia is not going to be too happy about that. Losing out some points there, for sure. No Sun River in this one until the tiebreaker. At the very, very end, there may be Sun River appearing. But first up, it's going to be Himmelsdorf between Cashback and Mafia. Neither team known for its all-out aggression, right?
No, not really. Not this season. We've seen it in previous seasons, but Cashback absolutely spanked W on it, so they can perform well on it. Mafia choosing Tundra, that's banning Ghost Town. These are some interesting map picks. Tundra being chosen. We saw it a lot in the beginning of the season, but it's petered off as we go ahead. But now it's making its return. Then Runeberg, Pilsen being banned by Cashback. Quite surprised. Mafia, I think they're kind of out of ideas on Pilsen. They don't want to play it anymore. They want to. We haven't seen much of.
It was Cashback that banned it.
Yeah, but they banned it after Mafia didn't pick it. That's what I mean.
Yeah, sure. But maybe they've got something cooking for Tundra. Maybe they would have.
It's interesting. I mean, as I said, it was one of the most chosen maps in the beginning, and then it just, the past 2 weeks we've barely seen it. But Yeah, we're gonna need to see what they've got on Himmelsdorf. What was the last map that Mafia chose after
Runeberg.
Tundra? Runeberg. Runeberg's an interesting one for them to choose, but predictions. All of us going for a 4-2 except Phil cooking with that 4-2 for Cashback. We need to hope he's wrong. He's running away with it a little. I threw some points yesterday, so we haven't checked what the standings are actually. I think I'm one. If I'm right, I think I'm 1 point behind you. Keyhand is somewhere, down the well, but Phil is quite far in front, so we need to be catching up a little.
I don't know how far up front he is. Not that much.
I'll do the calculations when I'm on replays, and for the last games we can see what the scores are between all of us. But yeah, we'll need to see. I mean, I don't think there was a massive difference between our predictions in all of the games today, actually. I just kind of went for a bit of an even one. I think Mafia, even though Mafia have less points, I do still think they're a little bit more consistent than Cashback, but it's a really hard one to predict here.
Lineups though, Cashback coming in, BZ75, IS4, IS7, 140, Blitzka, Fush B, and an E4.
Yeah, Mafia, BZ, IS7, 140, double Fush B and double E4. These lineups not telling us that much. The double Fosh B on Mafia's side does indicate some form of aggression. The IS7s on both teams mean they will be a little bit cap orientated, because when you see this IS7, the only good position it can really play is that cap on the hold downs. But in the beginning, the BZ boosting Brainbreaker into the middle in that IS4. Fosh B Blisker on 8 line, but Mafia going for that full 1-2 aggression. Whole team.
Fu's leading the charge, and the 140 he will get towards the strike. Brainbreaker in the meantime already pushing down the middle, and the IS4 will spot Conrad. How much damage is Conrad take? Minus 1k already on that IS7. He will give one shot back, but now Mafia will be forced to continue through on towards Aka even in that E4. Fus hits a shot, that's an important one. Means he can pop the Inspire. Conrad and Brainbreaker trading it out a little more, and for Mafia, Yuzek taking 1.5k actually to the face. Good shooting. Gets tracked again in that E4, but I think he just about got safe, and they will go for Aka, but it's been very costly so far for Mafia.
Yeah, those Foshes, I think they were spotted quite late on that one line. Aka's now pulled back into safe, but Rexar does have enough to clip him out if he goes for it. Conrad forced to move out because he was kind of stuck behind that building. Aka, this should be the last shot that he does, and he will heal quite a lot from this. We need to see what the reaction will be from Cashback, because they can't lose this E4 for free right now.
Well, in the meantime, Liberty, Brainbreaker pushing on towards Orchek. He's pulling back though. Yuzek missing, whiffing the shot there in that E4. An important one. Orchek is forced back, but he's getting flanked by a Bliskavitsa. Profus in the meantime lands a stunner strike. Orchek getting flanked by the Bliska. Not much he can do about that one, but Mafia is still in it. Squeezy now, maybe a little late on running away. It takes a lot of damage there from that Force B. From Rexar and Kono, and Orchek face hugging against Aphrodite. He bounces as well. Yeah, the Blitzka, not a great thing to face hug, and Mafia starting to close the gap ever so slightly in this one. Yuzek does go down. Orchek looking for Liberty, doesn't get the roll. Liberty will survive. Ability activated as well. It was a hero play, but it did not end up working today. 2 tanks down for Mafia over Cashback. Kono, however, looks to want to make a difference, but Mindbreaker with the BZ will put himself back into safety, and now Mafia looking in trouble.
Yeah, Kono tried to get the tracking shot on Mindbreaker so he can keep him perma-tracked in the middle, but big HE connection, and I think that was after the heal was popped, so Kono will not heal that back. Little in a bit of a conundrum right now, gives one to Rexar without ability, so Little might go down here, but Kono falls in the meantime. Aphrodite's closing the distance. YOLO down to a one-shot. Rexar gets rammed to death, and now it's all over for Mafia. A bold play, but they just couldn't get that catch, you know? It took them too long to pick up Akka on that 1-3 line, and Mafia did do good reactions to it.
Yeah, and especially that initial damage on the crossing was very, very, very good against Mafia. Some tanks taken 1k like Conrad, and 1.5k taken on, for example, Yuzek as well on the E4, which ended up costing him later. So all in all, good stuff there from Cashback. Good preparation, good initial damage, just solid all round.
Yeah, I think Cashback kind of predicted Mafia might go a bit aggressive. We have seen them. They're not the most aggressive team on Himmels, but we have seen them play this 1-2 line before. Quite aggressive. So Akka was very far back He didn't do that much damage, but he bought a lot of time for the team. So his death, not the worst, and you can kind of see on the lineup of Cashback, like everyone except Akka has over 2k. Like the BZ over 2k, little over 5k, little over 5k as well, Scooter with 4. Yeah, nice and solid. Yuzek getting a bit caught, can only do one shot in that E4.
He missed one as well.
Yeah, but so did Akka. So Akka did a long range shot. You know how Himmels can be with all the fences and things like that.
I mean, Yuzek's shot was like on 100 meters. I'm not sure how he missed out.
I can miss those, all right. When I'm talking about it can happen on Himmels.
There's a reason. There's a reason why you're in Gifted, you know.
Excuse me. Even I was in Fame at one point. Seem to recall you wanted to kick me, but anyway. Yeah, Yuzek not connecting the shot. I mean, it doesn't make a difference, right? Like in this game, 1 extra shot, even 2, doesn't make the difference when it's a 6-1 scoreline, a 7-1 scoreline. So
don't worry, I want to kick everybody at some point. So
that's fine. I had Jostra on my side, so it's all good.
Yikes! Unlucky. First round of Himmels, though. You know, Cashback, they are not known for its hyper aggression. They set up pretty solid to counter Mafia's initial aggression. Get success out of it as well. Find the first round. We saw this before, though. Mafia tried it against Hit and Run as well. This aggression on Himmels did not work whatsoever. Got schooled
I hope you're not
talking
about the 8-line one. That one was just a...
No,
I call that an anomaly.
The 1-2-line one was a bit... was kind of the same story.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing about that 1-2 line in 7v7. If you take those positions, you can do punishment, but with the abilities and things, and with the level these guys play at, they know when to pull back into defensive positions. They take that... It's kind of, if you're going to take a position and bleed for it, you're doing bleed for position, right? But that position needs to be advantageous. And in that game where Mafia took the 1-2, it wasn't. In this game, it wasn't. Because they got Akka, but after that, they couldn't get any more free picks. And yeah, we need to see a bit better. Like, Cashback just doing the good reaction. You know, they pushed the 1-2, they sacrificed Akka, but they made Mafia bleed for this 1-2 position. And then what? This 1-2 position is not that strong on this map just because of all the angles and things. Yuzek was caught in the south, and yeah, we need to see a little bit better from Mafia.
Second round though, Mafia, double push B, a 140, a CS, an IS4, a BZ, and a 60 TP.
60 TP coming back into action, but on Cashback's side, little in the IS7, Type 5 heavy, 140, 430U, double Blisker, and a Foch. Interesting lineup by Cashback, a good mix of tanks, Bliskers for the aggression, 430 for the DPM, Type 5 for the meat, and IS7 for the cap pressure. But Mafia with that CS probably going to want to play a little bit of a slower game on that hill.
I think so. I mean, the CS usually, unless he's pushing somebody, you know, but since he's just going towards the hill.
They will the double Foch as well. Maybe trying to do what Hit and Run did. Still don't like this 60 TP though.
We saw Lotus hit the double CS on the hill earlier in the week, and that was pretty good. But now Conrad and YOLO challenging this 1-2 line, taking a shot of damage each. They're kind of exposed here.
Yeah, Conrad can't stay there. There's no backing away he can. When there's double Blisker and Foch up here, Conrad's going to need to go up and over to the left. And I don't think a Foch is quick enough, an IS4 is quick enough for that. You see, that is not the way to run. He's exposing his complete behind, and he gets absolutely shredded for it. Deleted. And now, one tank disadvantage. Kind of a similar game to the previous one, where now Cashback have that 1-2 line, but they get that pick so much quicker. And I don't think the hill is going to be worth it for this.
The problem here is YOLO is pushable as well. Yeah, they can shoot him from the window with Little and Squeezy and flank him, but Akka puts 800 from behind, and then you can see the damage starting to chip in, the 140, the I7. YOLO will die, and it will be 2 tanks down for Mafia. Sure, he's surviving a little bit longer, but he will not be able to last that much time in that window, and he doesn't. He dies, he goes down. 2 tanks for the side of Mafia, leading down, leading for Cashback, up in HP by 6,000, up double guns. I mean, you know, if you're Keyhand, you probably still believe in the remontada in this round, but if you're a realist, it is going to be very tough. I mean, Rexor and Orchek will find Brainbreaker. They've been on the prowl with those Forge Bs, so they do find this Type 5, but again, they cannot really miss any shots to kill this. Orchek, once they get past Rexar, they're starting to clip out. If they can find this kill without anything really coming back, then who knows? Anything could be possible. Liberty, Mindbreaker in the meantime coming back. Rexar in the healing part, or the healing segment. Good shooting there from the Mafia Forge Bs, but now the chase comes from Liberty in his own Forge B, and you know, you can see the fatty Brainbreaker there blocking the gav quite a bit. And good shooting from Liberty, gets Rexar numerous times as well. A good strike though from Mafia, and all of a sudden it's within 2000 HP.
Yeah, what were you saying about the remontada? Ozix will now hunt down Liberty. But that 430 Ballista is coming in from the north. The strike's being taken. Music might be able to take out Little, but that's going to be all about he does when Ozix, when the 430 of Aphrodite gets behind him. Ozix actually ignoring Liberty, going for that Bliskovica instead, trying to take him out. There is a possibility for Mafia here, but it's a real slim one. They need to take him out, but Orzic goes down to Akka, and that really should be the end of the game here. Rexar doesn't have enough shells to kill Akka, and he will go down when Akka reloads. Prufus will give one, but that should be about all they wrote for Rexar, and now in a 2v4, Cashback making it a little closer than it needed to be, but I feel like, yeah, after those first two kills, there was no real coming back for Mafia.
No, I think Orchek's play was a little ugly as well. There on towards the Bliska, doesn't get the first shot, so doesn't get ability, then ends up taking a lot of damage. Got close-ish. Got close-ish at some point, but not really that close. Mafia's gonna leave Himmelsdorf sad and disappointed with a 2-0 deficit.
Yeah, I mean, they try. What was it? You can't have your cake and eat it. You can't have two Foshes up the hill and also play the cap, not expect to be pushed. This was Mafia's fault. You know, you can't overplay your hand, which they completely did. Putting 2 tanks in the cap, 3 tanks up the hill. You're too out of game for those Foshes to support. I disagree with the way Conrad ran from the cap. I don't think he runs in the way back towards his own base. I think he goes left. You know what I mean? I think if he does that, he probably lives. Like, he doesn't live on much HP, but he lives. But, yeah, catching that IS-4, I mean, it was a beautiful counter by Cashback. They had the perfect tanks in position to catch this IS-4, and they played with no fear, which you can really respect. But this is Mafia overplaying their hand. It feels like the first Himmels. I feel like they need to stop playing Himmelsdorf and start choosing maps that they can actually perform on, because this was poor.
And trying to play some mind games here, you know, playing 1-2 line and playing the hill at the same time. It doesn't work out. They get clapped for it. What was the second map coming out?
Tundra.
Tundra. I mean, it will be interesting between these two.
Yeah, we haven't seen Tundra for about a week in OLS at least. I don't remember seeing Tundra for quite a while, so we need to see if Mafia have something spicy prepared for this. Because, you know, Tundra is one of those maps. It's a small map, double strike in the north. It's quite difficult to push because of the crossfire angles. I feel like, and as well, it's not a well-established map, right? It's no Himmelsdorf cliff. It's a map that's not been in competitive for that long. So these juggernaut, these older teams who have played OLS and WGL and whatever else for years, they don't tend to choose those maps. Same with like Live Oaks in 15v15. So we'll need to see if Mafia choosing Tundra is quite interesting.
What can they do with it though? Yusek in the 60p, getting 5.1 out, not bad altogether, but in return, you know, you see it on the bottom of the leaderboard, scoreboard, Conrad, YOLO, even Profus in the 140, not really getting that much done. A hard game for Mafia. They need to recover on Tundra, but it will be hard as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Profus was hunted down in the north, so yeah, it's just gone from bad to worse. He just had minimal support. CS on the hill, not much strike damage either, actually. I'd expect with that, you know, do more than 1 strike, but Kono, like, doing 4.5 from the hill, 60 TP. A lot of this was in the late game as well. He's the last to die, so it was quite inconsequential damage, but yeah, solid by Cashback. They punished Mafia for a risky play. I feel like this is a strat that can work against a team like Lotus or CTR, but when you're playing against Cashback or Hit, you know, these are experienced teams that they punish. You know, you try and take an inch, they will take a mile.
Well,
oh, sorry for you. If you take a centimeter, they'll take a kilometer.
What the hell is a kilometer? No, I mean, Tundra is Mafia's pick, so they obviously have something cooking here, prepared, ready to play it as well. What it is a good question. We don't really see those brawls on Tundra. We've talked about this a few times, and I don't even remember either of these two playing Tundra at any given point, so that makes it really interesting.
I think they have. In Mafia, I remember playing Tundra. We had some games where it was Weekend. I remember Weekend, Lotus, and CTR would pick this quite a bit in the beginning. CTR played a lot of games on this map because you can do some mind games with it, but it fell out of favor. Yeah, it's an interesting map, you know, because you've got the north with the double strike, the south with the 3 info points, but it kind of means you're kind of forced into playing for that north, and you see the phase 1 score 3-1 to Cashback. Probably should have gone with Phil for the prediction, but yeah, it's their map, so they've got to cook something here.
Wait, everybody predicted Mafia, but Phil, right?
Yeah.
Well, unlucky.
Yeah, unlucky. It's one of those things.
One of those days. Lineups though, Cashback. Oh, they had a V4 select, but they switched away from it. Double BZ, double E50M, 140, STRV, and at the sack.
Mafia, triple BZ, double E50M, 140, and 430U. We have seen that Tessak once before on this map. I think it might have been Lotus versus Vulgus. I can't remember who it was, but I've definitely seen a Tessak on this map. But STRV is an interesting choice. There's not that much cover on this map. It's not a very big map. I'm quite curious where they want to put this STRV.
I mean, I guess you just put him on the F2 position, no? It's
Yeah,
pretty.
he doesn't have that great shots from there. It's good for holding, but
He has really good shots on like A3 and people peeking though.
yeah, but that's if you peek.
Yeah, but if you're playing control, I guess it works for that. Although I'm not really a fan of the sack in general. In this STRV, okay, but
I love Tessak. Little machine gun shitter. But yeah, the plane coming out in the beginning, 430U being spotted, same with the double BZ. Ruthless tries to take the info point in their own base, but gets decapped. Gets it on the second, but that's gonna mean that Cashback get this northern double strike, and we have seen it before. If you give up these northern strikes, you need to make sure that you make a move in the south. Or you do something, because as time goes on, the arsenal of strikes is going to come through. I think Mafia want to apply this cap pressure because they know that Cashback don't have the best fighting tanks. They have the STRV and the Tessak, not good tanks for fighting in close quarters, so need to see.
well, double strike is available for Cashback. Liberty puts the plane, it goes in towards the cap. They will put one of the strikes there. Brainbaker taking some of the BZ. He peaked against Conrad, and they ended up getting pretty good retaliation there. Little, though, getting blasted. Minus 1.5k. Does get a shot against Yuzek and does reset the base, but that was very expensive for the STRV.
Yeah, it was, but bear in mind, when these strikes get dropped, it's going to be expensive. It's got to at least hit 2. Didn't hit Conrad, he was just out of the circle, so that's 900 onto these BZs. Yes, they will heal each other because they are getting, they are building up their ability points by sitting in this cap circle, but Cashback saving these strikes, they will place one more, but then they won't be able to get another.
One.
This will hit all 3 of them here.
That is a good one. Yuzek tried to dodge it there, but now they're out of strike, so now the real game begins. 27 seconds. Is that enough for Aphrodite to take hits and put it just about?
It's gonna be close.
Just about. I think just about.
No,
No, actually no, because it takes
No,
him.
it's not.
It takes
It
him.
would take
Yeah.
15 seconds.
No, it
No,
takes
it's
it takes
not
him
that.
15 seconds to take it. So Brainbreaker gets to reset against Conrad. That's not enough either. They need to find another reset. It's not going to be enough with just one reset. Liberty spots out Kona. There is a guy leaving the cap though, and that's Conrad. So now Aphrodite will have enough time.
Yeah, but they are making this play in the north. The Tessak is forced to be pushed off. He does complete the cap with the E50M of Aphrodite. It gets placed onto Yolo and Yuzek. So that does get done, but Rexar now can take this northern strike and repressure Yuzek. And bear in mind that STRV is not a factor right now.
I mean, he's covering though. He's getting some shots out as well. If they decide to peek out, Brainbreaker pushing forward, Akka pushing forward as well. They want to get Yuzek out of the game. They don't have a strike available. They gotta be careful. They still have the worst fighting lineup. Little does have some shots though, and that's the STRV. Yeah, he might be not the healthiest anymore at this point, but he can still cover. He's taking the info as well. Akka peeking out, trading it out against Yolo. Mindbreaker pushing forward as well, but I would say that Mafia currently still has a pretty decent position, especially because they got control now over the double strike.
Yeah, bear in mind, these BZs, they're triple healing each other, but they decide to go for the push, risky going into this STRV, but they want to get Brainbreaker out. Strike gets placed, which means YOLO can finish off Brainbreaker. Akka will go forward, but what is there? It's going to be Profus and Yusek to meet him, so Akka will go down. Once Profus gets out this DPM down to a one-shot, we need to see if a strike can come out. In the meantime, in the north, we have a fight between the E50M, the Tessak, and the 140. Little 1v1s going on all over this map right now.
Aphrodite facing off against Kono. He seems to be fine. Squeezy and Liberty are going to find Rek'Sai though. Kono backing off. He realizes the Nord has been lost and the gates have been broken. Good body block there from Rek'Sai, but doesn't get the shot out in return, so it doesn't drop Squeezy to a one-shot. Gunman in the meantime getting shot by Little, and that STRV starting to be a little bit annoying here. Mafia starting to look dire. Yes, they have 6 tanks left, but the HP is oh so low. Make it 5 at this point. Still 2 one-shots available. Profus and Conrad. Liberty is hunting on towards Kono. That the Tessak, it is good at picking off those low HP targets. You know, when they start becoming one-clippable, the Tessak becomes a bit better at it. YOLO now taking a shot from Little as well, and I think that STRV has actually been very annoying still.
Yeah, and the thing is, Cashback not taking any risks. They're taking both these strikes, so if Mindbreaker doesn't finish, then the double strike will. We'll need to see if they put the strike onto Profus. It gets placed. Ozech gets shot in the front, clipped from behind, gets taken out. Kono clipped out. Tessak MVP tank here. Now Conrad just left on his lonesome. Little might want to go and pick up that one himself. No more sniping. He's a 268v4, recently promoted. But yeah, this is always a hard game to play in Mafia. To play this triple cap, it's very difficult to pull off, actually, just because of the double strike in the north.
Match point though. Match point at this point for Cashback. I mean, the way it's going right now, it's looking like a 4-0.
Yeah, and this game was a bit more convincing than the previous 2 Himmelsdorfs, but I think that's kind of because Mafia rotate, you know, they get the info point because they play south, and then they rotate, they try and punish Cashback's lineup for not having that many fighting tanks. But yeah, Cashback 3-0 up, and you can't say it's not deserved. They have been playing better.
STV, man, still at 5.6k damage.
Yeah, and Tessak 4k. I mean, a lot of this is in the late game, but I mean, not that much of that is strike damage, actually. Only 440 strike damage. That's interesting.
No, I mean, it's a really good game here for the Tessak even. But mainly that STRV, you know, got punished in the beginning, but still comes out and does a pretty good amount of damage, right? For that STRV,
Yeah,
5.6.
1400 assists.
I don't think anybody really expected him to be that high on the leaderboard after the initial trades that were made there. And right now, it's looking like a 4-0, to be honest. Cashback so far just seems to have read Mafia like a book. How much do we take away from this match is going to be a different story, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to see that much Tundra later in the playoffs and things, but
I think Mafia also realizes, I mean, it's co-op in a way, but also like their position is unlikely to change too much.
yeah, it's a good point. Proof was getting out so little damage in that one.
Again,
I think it's a bit worrying though.
Again, in Himmels, it wasn't his games either, to be honest.
Yeah, no, but like the 140, especially on a map like this. Listen, in this game where all of the heavies are stuck in this holo plan cap pressure, all the mediums need to eat, because you need to be punishing Cashback for getting these decaps, and 1300 on an Inspire medium is just not enough. Like, it really isn't not enough at this level.
Well, can they recover? I mean, Mafia, 4 rounds in a row to win this match, it would be impressive.
Remontada, the W special. But yeah, it's a tall order, especially they've lost their first game on their own map pick, which is never a good thing, you know. And especially when it's such a niche map pick, like if they choose Cliff or Himmelsdorf, I'm going to be like, okay, it's a map they've played 1,000,000 times, but it's Tundra. You know, if you take Tundra, I think it's because you have something on it. But we need to see more from Mafia in this one. Really need to see. It's do or die right now. Well, obviously it's the last one, but do or die to show us something. Because if it's 4-0, that's not a good look.
No, it would not be a good look. I completely agree with that. But again, you know, Mafia, neither Mafia and Cashback is probably showing too much. I mean, actually, no, Cashback would be showing more than Mafia because that's the fight there for first.
Well, yeah, and a 4-0 for first is is strong. But I think at this point you're kind of, because their playoff spots are guaranteed. As you get to the end of the group stage, you kind of want to like not show much.
Yeah, but it's
on your
about the
main
money
maps
for the regular season.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if the places can change anymore, can they?
On first and second, it's only 1 point difference.
Yeah, for first and second, yeah, but I'm talking about Mafia. I don't.
Mafia is like 4 points ahead of W, I think, so they would need to lose both their matches without picking up any points, I think.
Yeah.
However, we're not there yet. Mafia coming out. RHM, 430U, 140, E50M, triple BZ.
Yeah, on the cashback side, double BZ IS7, E50M 140, Bliska, and an RHM. Do like the Bliska on this map, actually. I like the gun depression that you can use on these ridges, but IS7's an interesting pick. We don't often see it picked on this map just because of the lack of gun depression, and the speed is not great. There's a lot of swampy terrain on Tundra. Obviously, it's based in a swamp, so the soft stats can be not great for it. But in the beginning, YOLO boosting that 430U. Plane comes out, 4 tanks spotted. Plane on the other side, almost everyone except Liberty spotted. So both of these light tanks do have a replane.
Liberty will be first on the middle strike, though. Mindbreaker a little stopping to try and do some damage, but it's a split here from Mafia. Playing with 2 tanks in the south and then 3 BZs playing close. YOLO, Konrad, Yuzek. They know that the entirety of Cashback is here. Liberty, driving into the building. Not seen that one from Liberty before.
Yeah, a bit of panic. Might have been pinging the map. Takes another one from the 50M. A lot of damage on this light. It's not what you want to see. And Cashback cede control of this strike to YOLO. They will take the north one, of course. And it's only that 430 up there. Cashback do need to, Mafia do need to be careful here. They can be overrun in these positions due to the double tank in the south.
Yeah, Cashback doesn't seem to be pulling the trigger on that, though I agree that there would be a possibility for them to run over this northern area. The 430U is stuck in, but instead they're going to go for the rotation. So E50M, 140, RHM rotating out. And Brainbreaker does have an angle on YOLO to reset the strike over and over. No damage,
That's
but
more of an annoyance than anything, though.
Yeah, no, but it stops them from taking it at least.
Yeah, true. I mean, the issue is now Liberty took so much damage that making this rotation is not going to be that easy. And obviously, if it goes to draw rules, which is highly unlikely, that damage dealt could be a factor, but Rexar playing against Akka. Ability used, and Rexar didn't get one in return, so Rexar is now out of his funny button ability. Now we're settling in for a bit of a long game. YOLO did manage to take the strike. The strike in the north can be taken at any time once it backs up. Mafia can't deny that one. It's gonna be a slow one, definitely.
Cashback currently just seems to be trying to figure out what move they can make, because they're the ones that currently, as it stands, need to actually make the move. Just because they have dealt less damage than Mafia has. It's still early days for this, but it is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, they don't have the map control either. Like, even though it's 1-for-1 strikes, but Aphrodite does get spotted going in. Squeezy doesn't, so important information for Cashback at the moment. The 140 not being spotted.
Kono gets spotted out, takes 1, takes 2. Kono a little bit greedy there in the RHM, is going to take another one, take 1 more even, down towards 1.4. I mean, Liberty made a mistake, but Kono's mistake evens out this game altogether. Perfus now taking some as well. Liberty on the top of the hill will take the info tower. Won't get reset for it either, so gets and snatches that away in front of Mafia. But all of a sudden we're just back even. Kono pushed forward and I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean the 50M was spotted. You don't want to face an E50M at the best of times with an RHM, so that was quite a bold decision. Cashback happy with the damage they dealt, opting to retreat. That's an interesting choice. I think they realized that they pulled Mafia out of position, and they have a unique window of opportunity where they can make this northern repush. Bold one by Cashback, I like it.
I mean, they see the BZ of Konrad rotated south. Good shot by Rexar yet again. Playing this position very well. The 430U's size and shape advantageous there over the E50M potentially for that position. But now Cashback does realize, okay, we pulled the BZ away from the middle of the map. It pulled him south. We could potentially overrun the north ourselves, but they're stopping. They're actually just holding.
Yeah, but obviously Cashback don't know it. We do, but there's a unique opportunity here for Cashback to push onto Mafia while they're out of position. Rexar backs away. He smells something coming. Aphrodite, Akka, Squeezy, Brain Breaker, they're making the play in the north with Liberty, and Mafia completely out of position right now.
Strike comes out on towards YOLO. Aphrodite looking for the backside of that BZ. Can he go that far? Mindbreaker taking a lot of damage for this though, and that BZ taking even more damage. Not really what you want to see from him in that BZ75, but now YOLO starting to get crossfired. Little pushing across as well in the IS-7, and YOLO going for the fight against Little, but in return I think Mindbreaker actually made a shot towards the bridge, so he's not paying attention to what YOLO's doing. The North's now getting pushed as well on towards Rexar. YOLO goes down. Can they pick up Rexar without too much hassle? It does seem to be the case. Akka might explode for this though, is barely alive on 481, but he will survive. So 2 tanks down now for the side of Mafia, who are in an HP lead slightly, but they're losing the North positions, and if Cashback slows down the game now with 5 minutes to go, double strike control as well, dropping Guzek low. Don't worry about Little. Just has the third bug, and I think Cashback will now reset into taking the strike and slowly weathering down Mafia's resistance.
Yeah, the punish there wasn't anywhere near enough. Yes, Akka's on a one-shot. Yes, Brainbreaker's on a one-shot. But complete strike controllers with Cashback in the north, so they're not able to get these low HP picks. Squeezy hunting down Orzic. Goes until he's unspotted and then runs away. Nice play by Squeezy. Forces Kono to rotate over even though Squeezy's already backed away. Really nice play, and as you said, Cashback now going to reset to these northern positions, and they've got everything to play for. 7v5, HP disadvantage, but with double strike, that evens out real quick.
Oh no, this double strike's about to ruin Mafia. I mean, they're down in guns already. Yuzak needs to be really careful because he's too strikeable.
Yeah.
And I think Liberty could even go back to the hill slowly.
This is a tall order for Mafia right now, as they really don't have anything working on them. All of their HP essentially is on Profus and Conrad. Yes, Profus is a nice tank to have it on, but 3k of their 9k HP, a third of their team on Conrad. It's not what you want really in a late game scenario.
Well, Profus is starting to move towards the hill. Mafia has to make the move. If they wait for the second round of strikes to come out from Cashback, it's game over. Or they think it's kind of game over, but if those strikes reset and they get taken once more, they're not doing anything. That is too much damage. That would be 2k damage from strikes alone. That is 25% of their HP. A bit less, but you know.
Yeah. What's your opinion on how Mafia can get back into this? What side do they need to push? Because I'm mulling it over now, and I have an idea.
The first needs to YOLO 0 line.
Really?
Yeah. They can't really push 1-2.
I think it needs to be a 7-line play.
The light cuts it in half from 9 line.
The light doesn't see it though.
No, but like they have that.
D7.
There's too much HP.
He cuts it from behind later.
There's also a narrow angle. Profus gets strike, so that's 450. It's a narrow angle to push from, and I think Aphrodite is spotting it early enough. And you used to, yeah, like Aphrodite's position, you will just spot them and back off. 20 HP damage on Little, important.
Yeah, do you see Conrad does get spotted now by Aphrodite? Yeah. But I do agree that this is the play that Conrad should make.
But not without the 0 line. Like
well,
just him pushing up here is not enough. I think they need pressure from A9. Like him is not enough. They needed Profus at A9 as well to put some pressure to get crossfire on Aphrodite. Now Conrad just seemed to have taken 3 shots for free, and Squeezy in the meantime says, "Hello guys, I've taken your hill, I've taken your communications tower, and I've given Kono some damage to the face as well. Trading is perfect for us." Orchek is re-pushing with 1000 HP. There is double strike, however, from Cashback, and Orchek is about to face the music because Squeezy is not going to give himself up for nothing. There comes the strike, there comes the second strike. Orchek down, Yusek now coming in. But that is a BZ75. That thing does not have the DPM needed to kill a 140. Little, with another strike, I guess, will pick it up. There goes the hopes and dreams of Mafia. It's a disaster for them today. 4-0 for Cashback, absolutely rolling over Mafia towards the end of the regular season. They're very happy with that. I mean, Mafia still previous OLS winners, reigning WCI champions, so You know, for Cashback, it's also really good for the round difference.
Yeah, just 4-0 by Mafia, by Cashback. It's a wild scoreline, isn't it? You know, the Polish teams of Mafia and Hit, they seem so consistent in every single season. But this is not just a chink in the armor. This is a blatant hole. 4-0. That was not on the menu.
Good stuff from
On their
Cashback.
map pick as well.
Yeah, I mean, Cashback played a very solid series of World of Tanks. A lot of openings they did, countered Mafia straight, and you know, that's good. It's really good. 4-0, well deserved. Taking a lot of points, taking a lot of round difference, putting the pressure back on hit and run, of course, as well, which is always nice.
Yeah, puts the pressure back onto them. Really nice round difference for Cashback, not losing a single round, which can make a difference, as you said, in the regular season, potentially pushing them up a bit higher. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think Cashback are just reading what Mafia are doing so much better. This Northern repush, I think the Northern repush was even slow. I thought there was a window of opportunity, but it didn't feel like a window. It felt like a gaping hole that Cashback just walked through. They didn't even repush immediately. They took their time with it, and Mafia just didn't seem aware at all. They really just felt 2 steps behind Cashback in each of these games.
Well, I mean, I think there is something about 4-0. I was talking to IOS yesterday about the standings and something about 4-0s, but I don't know if it was Mafia.
What about 4-0s? What do you mean?
There were some scenarios in which the standings change, but they were like very limited scenarios, you know.
Well, I mean, after the stats later on today, we'll have a look at the standings and see what the differences is. But yeah, what more is there to say about this match? Cashback was it's so strange. Cashback had such a slow start to the season, but 4-0 W, 4-0 Mafia now. It's complete dominance, to be honest. And in the next playday, they play hit and run, so that's going to be the real game to watch.
I mean, that will be the one that decides everything, right? For the as long as hit and run wins, even then, even if they lose, there will be a 3-point gap depending on how they lose. So the last match will decide everything. But before that, we still have 2 more matches today. But before that, let's take it away with a little bit of replays.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5, Phase 2, Day 4, Match 2, and hopefully it's going to be a banger. W against Hit. But to be honest, Ducky, W this season, they've shown some signs of weakness against some of those top teams.
Especially in the second half of the season, I would say. I feel like they look better in the beginning than they do now. They're in position 4. It's unlikely to change as well. With Mafia losing, however, it's possible, right? Anything can still happen. But they would need to beat Hit and Run for status.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to be seeing two teams here that are going to be making it to playoffs. That is secure. However, compared to last season, I think also the spots that the people want to claim for the playoffs here are going to be important for the seeding, but also for the money that they are going to take home. So maybe they're not going to be showing all of their A strats that they're saving already for the playoffs, but they're definitely going to be showing their A game here today. And I think it is very fair to say that, yeah, the team that this guy, Ketsa, is on should be favored coming into this. Pen rate above 90%. That is on the very, very high end of the stats that we see.
Yeah, Ketsa really jack of all trades as well, you know, plays a lot of different tanks, plays almost anything and everything. Does it well, high DPG, solid all around. For Hit and Run, he also plays those lights from time to time, so very important player.
Yeah, and also stage 2, as we saw, I believe, last playday. The dude really does it all. And to be honest, with very good success. 3.5k DPG is nothing to scoff at.
No, for sure not. So solid gameplay from Ketsa. His team is going to need that in this match as well. Community predictions in favor of Hit and Run? Yeah, expected, right?
I would say so, yeah. 75, maybe even a little bit on the low side, actually, because yeah, W ended up stomping CTR, I believe, on Sunday for 0, if memory serves correctly, but I think we are not going to be talking down about the CTR players here if we say that the Hit ones are made of a little bit of a different material currently.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like Hit and Run has been looking really, really, really good, and I think that this might actually be their season.
It could be, right? And the thing is, the crazy thing is that I think Hit and Run, have they ever won a season? I don't think so. Like, they've won WCI twice, but never OLS.
No, they haven't. So that is the interesting part. That's why, you know, I think that this is their season. Finally, you know.
I thought last season was going to be their season because they looked really dominant in the regular season, and then they didn't really perform in the playoffs, so we'll have to wait and see. But first of all, what we are going to watch today is going to be W versus Hit on the following maps. Cliff is going to start it off. Interesting choice by W, considering that Hit really liked playing the map as well. Ghost Town to follow it up. Very technical map. I can see why Hit ended up picking it. Into Sand River, and I think they picked that because W ended up looking kind of shaky on Sand River in some of the rounds that they played before it. If we go to it, which I hope, Ruinberg would be the tiebreaker.
Potentially we'll get there all the way, Kihand. There's a chance for that. But between these two, we've also seen blowouts either side. With remontadas, but also blowouts.
Yeah, I think both of the teams are definitely capable of walking away with the victory today. I think the daily form can be a big decider, but let's say the weekly or the monthly form is definitely favoring Hit at the moment. However, W are a team that's known to really sometimes surprise, and they do it both ways, right? Positively, negatively. At the moment, I think they have more potential to surprise positively.
I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if this is a Hit and Run blowout, one way or another.
Could be. Could actually be. Then again, I think between the top teams, it's quite unpredictable what we will get each playday. For example, before today, I think no one would have said that we are going to see a 4-0 between Cashback and Mafia, but it happened. And yeah, what we were talking about with Hit and Run being on a roll, and for W it all going downhill a little bit currently, also reflected in the caster predictions. You're actually saying it's going to be a quick 4-1, everyone else 4-2, but yeah, no one really sees W going to tiebreaker. What a long way we've come.
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of how I feel. You know, I think Hit and Run might run over them, and if that's going to be the case, I mean, only the gameplay can tell us the story, right?
Absolutely. And talking about gameplay, I think that one's coming right up. We are about to load into game number 1 here between Hit and W. Cliff, it should be, hopefully, an explosive one. And Hit and Run coming in with the quadruple BZ75, double Batchat, and the 140.
The W watched the OCS earlier, double 50B, double Bat, a CS63. However, there was no Gorilla there. There will be one now, and an Airsham.
W also not playing with Chucky, not playing with Jakefa, so I guess it is their standard lineup at this point in time. Let's see what we're going to get. W definitely trying to trick Hit and Run a little bit, the Gorilla being an indicator of that. And also we have to talk about the fact that their lineup is extremely squishy. None of the tanks have armor, really.
No, none of the tanks have armor, and they have a Gorilla behind it as well. It's going to be really hard to make this lineup work, in my opinion. I'm willing to see it and give it a shot and see how it plays out. But it will be hard. Double Batchat, it's going to be double Batchat around the hill as well, and that's how the game could end immediately for W or Hit and Run even. Whoever wins that could be at a very big advantage.
Well, let's see. Both of the Batchat crews spot out each other. Nepal taking the first damage of the game. Monster as well. But Ketzai making a move around. Not seen yet. And Nepal is less than 1 clip. This is absolutely tragic for W. Coming into this one, Ketzai is going to completely clip out on towards Nepal. And after that, it's Ios in an unwinnable 1v2 as Monster already on the reload. This might indeed be a blowout.
This round is over, to be honest. The hill has been taken by Hit and Run. Mentos is not even at K5. The strike is taken. Ios is in the middle of the map. The cap has started. They're sure W has the strike on the 2 line, but they have no positions anymore, man.
And the thing as well with the info tower on the hill getting taken now, that is, oh my god, Clerv driving into Lucan as well. Doesn't get punished for it, but the problem now for W is they're a man down. They have no frontline tanks to speak of. And the secret of the Gorilla that was supposed to, like, you know, Hail Mary shoot them back into the game has been revealed by the info tower.
Well, Ketzai Monster around the hill. The cap has been started. They will need to use the strike unless W doesn't have a strike anymore. They do have a the big strike that gets used on towards D-Sec, but now what? What do you do now?
Well, you start the long and painful march eastwards into the cap, and that one, I mean, we've seen it time and time again in 15v15, in WOT7, in WGL. Every single time that you try to repush the middle and your tanks are spotted doing it, you get absolutely slaughtered.
And I don't think it will be any different for W in this one. Down 3000 HP. I mean, the light is flanking. Sure, DJ is taking some damage, but the cap will continue going up. The strike gets taken by Piotr in about 15 seconds. And Monster finds Ios as well. Mentos did make it okay 5, but does Piotr actually take this on time? No, because they're going to strike him. He does dodge it, so good job there by Piotr, dodging the strike. But who's resetting?
No one, probably. 3 seconds remaining. They're not going to be picking up the strike. The Batchat is not going to arrive in time, and that means that Hit and Run are going to cap out against W. They make it look oh so easy.
Yeah, this fight around the hill is a very decisive one. You know, that's the story of the game. And Hit and Run also send double bat and play it out better.
Yeah. Just the timing, the positioning of the individual players, the fact that Ketzai initially didn't get spotted as well. Just, yeah, better played by the players on Hit. And I think a round like this can also be problematic for a team like W. Like, they come into this, they want to show some cool stuff with the Gorilla, right? But, well, that's not what ended up happening. And I mean, you can't really fault the Gorilla even here, because the game was decided kind of before, before the Gorilla was even able to have any kind of impact.
Yeah, that's exactly that. So, well, kind of a non-factor, right? I mean, what do you say about that?
On the other hand, I guess if you're a W and you have essentially a game like this, then you, I guess, can say, well, we lost on opening, GG, go next. But, yeah. I mean, the DPGs for all the players are not going to go up either. And yeah, I mean, Itox just doing damage with the strike, nothing else really, and completely dying for it too. It was just horrible by W from start to finish.
I mean, damage can't read too much away into that, you know?
No. I mean, just lost on opening. W tried to do something fancy, but it was like, nah, bro.
I don't know. Not much to say. You know, the beginning outplay from hit and run, and then afterwards the game is just over. And W tries to do some, I would call this shenanigans, right? And it just doesn't work.
No, and I think for W there is currently a lot to play for, because, well, while the fourth spot makes you advance to the playoffs, you start in the lower bracket immediately, and so you don't have the safety net that all the other teams get, right? On top of the money that you additionally get for being placed higher in the regular season.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think this is the way to beat hit and run though for W. Like, these gimmicks are not going to bring them across the finish line. This is like one of those strategies like, oh, if they do this and this, we win. If they do that and that, well, we just lose.
Yeah.
And they ended up running into one of the options in which they just lose, you know?
And like, it simply looked too easy for a hit. Like, they didn't really have to do, after the initial bad chat engagement, hit and run didn't have to do anything except wait for W to make the mistakes. And of course, one of them can be, well, not resetting the cap. Now, however, Hit are going to switch it up with the triple 50B, BZ75, IS7, CS, and RHM.
In return, W, quad BZ, double bat, and a 140. Back to basics. Love to see it.
Back to basics. I think this is exactly what W need, to be honest, because like the fancy stuff, we could see how much it was getting shut down. Hit and run actually slightly switching it up, so it's only going to be a double B with a slightly heavier front line, double BZ75. I don't hate it, but then again, those 50Bs and autoloader heavy tanks in general can be a problem, because like, yeah, you do your magazine and then you're kind of useless for the next 20 seconds. Good plane as well coming out by Monster.
Mentos in Nepal committing on 1-2. They meet Panzer Fury. Panzer Fury is going to go up. Those batches are going to chase him. The double 50B will probably come into 1-2 straight as well. And Panzer Fury, I think now coming to the realization like, oh, I gotta go. Takes one, takes two. It's taking one more from the bats? No, it doesn't end up taking one. And here comes the IS-7 and the 50Bs. And yeah, Panzer Fury taking some more, but this time around, W needs to cross over. They're crossing over with BZs. Barbarian is already bailing out. Frantic as well, opting not to go for this up and fight. Barbarian trying to turn around to run away. That is a long distance he has to cover. Would almost be better for him to go back towards the other corner. So he's going to cross over. He's going to take a relatively decent amount of damage on that 50B, down towards 1.6. You know, in the meantime though, Mentos is dead.
Yeah, Mentos dying off screen, and the Batcher at Nepal also not faring much better, because the CS63 is the constant threat here. Now W coming in with the re-push on towards T-Sec, and yes, the BZ75s, they have a lot of alpha damage, so they're chipping away at the ISM, but at the same time, they have such a long reload. You can see how long it takes W to take the IS-7 out of the game, and in the meanwhile, Nepal has died to the CS. So it is 2 kills for Hitnaran, only 1 for W, and Hit already re-pushing with the BZ75s in towards the middle of the map, and the 50Bs are reloaded.
And Franek already turning around, shielding Barbarian, trying to get his full clip out. Piotr looking for the shot. I don't think he's going to get it, so all the BZs reloading. At least Franek with that play made it, so Barbarian got his full clip out. He's probably going to die for it though, which is the worst factor, because Barbarian's dead. Franek is going to follow, and now Hit and Run has the tank advantage. Piotr needs to die here. Can Ketsai get it? It looks good for him. He finds a shot as well. In the meantime, the 140 chasing the RHM. That is a 2-shot against a 2-shot there on the hill, which IOS is advantaged in. But now the CS63 is farming out though, and so far W looking good in this second round.
W looking good so far. It would take only one more shot from one of the BZs to finally remove Ketsai from the game. In the meanwhile, Clove desperately trying to heal up above a one-shot for those BZs. I believe that was Lukin bouncing on towards Ketsai. That enables him to get the last shot on towards Clove here. And finally, Pansfury might be coming into the game to bring in some much-needed DPM. But in the meanwhile, everywhere else, Hit and Run have faltered. Currently 3 versus 2, but one gun really out of the fight for W.
Panther Fury is chasing Itox. DJ will make his shot on towards Lucan. Lucan needs to hit this one. Bouncing again! The second bounce in this match from Lucan already could be very crucial. Good shot there from Ios actually from the middle of the map. Panther Fury will be hiding behind this 50B Recto. Can Lucan get this shot? It would finally be very important for his team if he could do so. He's looking for it. Can he get it? DJ trying to body block in that BZ75. Ios is coming in. Panther Fury hits the shot. DJ will hit it as well. Panther Fury needs to stay alive somehow for this team to win, and he's going to go forward now because of the shot from Ios comes in. Nonetheless, Lucan is probably going to die here if DJ finds this angle, and Ios in the meantime has hit some stunners in this battle, to be honest.
Ios is the thing that's keeping W in this round right now. Another shot is going to connect, so DJ is going to be a one-shot for the time being. So we're left in a 1 versus 1 that, realistically speaking, it should have never come to. The BZ75, of course, doesn't have any boosters remaining at this stage of the game, which means that 140 normally should be on the strike faster. And that is going to be a detriment for DJ, who has the more iffy gun, who has less camo, with both players being on a one-shot. So at this point in time, question is, who's dealt more damage?
I think if you're DJ, you try to take the strike anyways, to be honest. You cannot surprise with a BZ without boosters, so you gamble on it. Like, what is he gonna do? Go towards the middle of the map, play in some bushes? I don't know. I personally say he should gamble on the strike, but he's opting not to do it.
Well, let's see. I mean, for Ios, the win condition now, of course, is going to be getting up on towards the hill to take the info tower as well. And from there on, just, you know, info tower into strike into kill. Because, like, who has dealt more damage? That is actually the biggest question. And I think it might actually be
It should be
hit?
It should be hit because they have an IHM and the CF and an IS7.
So even though Ios has like the perfect set of tools in his arsenal to win the round, currently he's playing against defeat. I guess right now the teams are also taking stock of the damage that they dealt. But the problem is they can never really accurately know how much damage they've actually received, right? Because of all the heals.
No, I think it's hit and run easily, to be honest. Like, easily. Because it's 4 BZs versus only 2. So little heals for hit and run, 4 BZs for W. Hit and run wins this on damage dealt.
Yeah, probably. And I think Ios is starting to realize that. I mean, he still has a lot of time to work with. He, for example, also could try and go for the cap. There's some bushes as well in there, which, of course, would pressure DJ. But then again, DJ would know exactly where the 140 is. Ios...
If Ios goes on the cap, he wins. Actually, he just straight up wins. If Ios goes 1-2 line, he wins, but that's risky. If he goes on the hill, he might get spotted out and then he could lose. But if he goes onto the cap, I don't think he can lose. DJ will not spot him. He'll play a bush. If the DJ starts to block the cap at any given point, Ios will know. And yeah, I don't know. I don't like this position from DJ at all. I don't even know if he spots him going on the hill.
No, I think if he takes the south route to the hill, then he doesn't spot him because there were like trees in the way. Ooh. But of course, like, we know that, but Ios doesn't.
I'm pretty sure Ios shoots, doesn't get spotted. Yeah, DJ is not really spotting anything from there.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, DJ... Okay. I mean, of course he has the time to do it, so I would be careful about it as well.
I mean, if Ios takes the hill at some point, it's going to be game over for DJ. He's not dodging with a BZ. Ios still spot checking. Trying to see if DJ is spotting the approach onto the hill, and, you know, he's not, so...
Well, let's see, he's now continuing up and over, drives against the stone, but I mean, he has made the crucial cross now, and that is going to enable him to go into the strike. Also, even improving his camo by popping the Inspire.
I mean, I think this game is just over, bro, to be honest. Like, I really don't like DJ's position for an end game. It doesn't spot anything, it doesn't really cover anything. It doesn't allow you to spot the hill. It doesn't even allow you to spot the radio tower. And when this gets used, it's kind of just over. And I think DJ, you know, he needs to start moving now. But if he has no boosters left, he's dead.
Yeah, I don't think he has any boosters left. And, well, in comes the strike. Let's see if he placed it well. DJ trying to reverse. Nope, it's not going to happen. Another shot in frustration from DJ, but he ends up dying.
I think this is not the end game you want to go for if you're DJ at all. Like, I think because of the strike, you can gamble left, you can gamble south, and you can gamble east. He has Ios has a 1 out of 3 opportunity to kill you if you're taking the strike. Instead, you go to a position where you don't spot anything, you are isolated, you have no cover on towards the hill, you let him drive. I honestly don't like the way that the hit and run played it out in the end. I think DJ should gamble for the strike. If he dies, because in the long game, he's losing anyways.
Yeah, and then also we should notice that basically it should never come to this. Like, there were a couple bounces in the shootout. If they don't happen, then, well, we don't even get to the 1v1.
Yeah, I mean, looking, bend ratio there from looking
11, 10, 7.
It's too little. I mean, sure he does 4.7, but it's not good enough.
Yep. But yeah, Ios carrying, I guess, Lukin and the rest of the team to victory here, which means that the map pick of W, which was Cliff, is going to end on a 1-1 all even. But, I mean, Hit, they surely made them work for it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Panda Fury 7k. Not bad. A few things here or there that go different, and this is a win for Hit and Run, you know?
And this means that after Cliff, we are now going to Ghost Town. And I think things are not going to get easier here from the W perspective, because Ghost Town just such a very, very technical map, and Hit, they are very, very adept at playing it.
Ghost Town, gonna be an interesting one between these two as well. A lot of different styles can be played. We saw Hit and Run try that 6-7 line push quite a few times. Did not work. Was pretty bad altogether. Looking for more standard gameplay here.
Yeah. Also, if you're W, I would like to see like some super specialist lineup coming out now, just because of what happened in round number 1. Instead, just, you know, box standard tactics and execute them well, which we mostly saw in the past round. Oh, phase 1 score actually was close. 3-2 for W as well.
Yeah, well, if you predicted 4-1, you already need a blowout here, you know?
Who was it predicting 4-1? Was that you?
Yeah, no, it was me.
I mean, I shouldn't talk smack this season actually about predictions, because it's been going absolutely horrifically for me, but you know, I'll take the little victories where I can, I guess.
You're so far behind, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we can go with like daily wins as well, you know.
Daily wins.
I'm trying to grasp at anything here. But yeah, Hit and Run, actually 60 TP has become a lot more popular. Together, never mind, he switches away from it, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it has been picked recently. IS-7, Type 5, Bad Chat, E50M, 140, E4, and RHM.
In return, W, IS-7, Type, Bad, Type 2, CS, E4, and this T100 again. Not the greatest man, but you know.
Let's see if we're also going to have some weird interactions on the 8 and 9 line again with that T100 and the RHM, because with the low noise exhaust, which both of them realistically are going to be running, there can be some very, very funny occurrences with like proxy spots, etc. Nepal, though, opening up on the 7-line strike with that CS. He's gonna arrive there long before T-Sec, which is entirely normal. Piotr also following up, will probably try to support, but Clerv actually getting spotted in the T100 probably by Monster's plane, but he ends up sticking it, and this nets him the info tower. Crazy that no one by Hit and Run was able to reset.
Yeah, the Monster's plane is gone because of this as well. So now W bailing with the bad shots, bailing with the T100. They have that strike with Nepal, he's bailing as well and hit and run. They have nothing for their troubles and not even a plane on Monster. And I like this reaction from W. It's quick, it's fast, and it may put a lot of pressure on hit and run very early on.
Yeah, I mean, this is essentially the perfect opening for W at this point in time. They walk away with the strike, they walk away with the info tower. Monster walks away without the plane. That obviously is going to recharge over time, but for now, W, I guess, with the better start.
Katsai is coming close with the 140. If he commits into the strike, it will be game over. E50M covering as well, but he's just going to play up front. So hit and run is reinforcing these positions. Katsai gets himself spotted out with the blind, but he does know there's somebody there at least.
Yeah, Mentos in that batchat was, I believe, the one spotting him, and now Clerf is driving into the strike. I mean, there are some bushes that you can use as the T100 to capture it, but that makes it also kind of obvious where you are, even though, like, even when you're not spotted. Itox, in the meanwhile, has taken some damage in the city. Same can be said for Piotr on that 7-line strike that is about to come back online, but in the meanwhile, Clerf able to take the strike on the 1 line.
So double strike for W. And they can play the game on this eastern side for sure. I mean, yeah, T-Sec has taken the strike, but he is not taking the strike at the same time.
No, I think, yeah, Nepal just used the strike here, and indeed now it's going to be Piotr that will be taking it here. Piotr, though, taking a bit of HE, so that is going to reset the priority. T-Sec is going to be taking the strike again. Now, never mind. The mini strike coming out by the CS63 once again should be resetting T-Sec, who actually dodged it, but, you know, still Piotr is going to be the one capturing it at this point in time. T-Sec peeking very far, does take a shot of damage for his troubles, and Monster finally able to reset the IS-7.
Here come the bad shots again, but Hit and Run is mimicking this movement. I will say that. I mean, they're doing a very good job at moving across the maps themselves as well. They're all back on this eastern side. When these bad shots start clipping out, the worry might be the damage that's taken back on towards them, because T-Sec will immediately signal that this is happening, guys.
Well, for now, the Batchats haven't opened fire quite yet, but that might be about to change. They're still looking for a position here. A strike going down on towards Clerf. That's going to give a plane level 2 even back to Monster. So Clerf kind of locked out. The Batchats are going to be dodging the plane, but Clerf cannot really do anything at this point in time, as Itox and Lukin are going to get pushed upon by a Type 5 and 140 as the E450M hit squad by hit does arrive on the 7 line.
In the meantime, they're pushing over Piotr with DJ leading the charge. The Batchats are starting to clip out, though. They're in position to deal with this. DJ and at E50M maybe a little too far. He's going to die. I don't see him live through this one. Itox might even put a shot in as well. They will find Piotr in return, but it's going to be a very costly one. And now the Batchats are spotted out. Banzer Fury, in the meantime, getting flanked as well by Nepal from behind. And W so far in the advantage. IOS, yeah, takes a lot of damage in that battle. Minus 2.2. Great shooting from the side of Hit and Run. Looking for Katsai. Gets Katsai as well, who will drop back into the hole, but not before getting Amoract and down towards 500 HP. So it's still W very, very much ahead.
Yeah, Mini-Strike also puts Katsai down towards less than 1 shot for Nepal here as the Type 5s keep on trading, but I think Nepal has now set his sights on towards the 140, who does 1 more shot of damage, but now ends up dying, and this opens Pan's Fury up to a crossfire as well. Maybe the E4 in the background should be able to help Pan's Fury here, as Lukin and Pan's Fury once again end up trading. Meanwhile, though, Zero Line, another push coming out of W, who are now with less HP, kind of trailing a little bit, but they have the gun advantage.
And they also have the strike with Piotr. T-Sec starting to get clipped out by Mentos in a second or two. Barbarian pushing up, and it's right now Hit and Run. Yeah, they might have the HP, but they need to start making some kills. T-Sec in a little bit of trouble as well. Franek will find Clerf, though. Does he commit on this? No, he backs around the corner immediately. Franek was nothing to do with that. Panzer Fury and Lukin trading it out in the meantime, though. And Piotr will find the kill against T-Sec. Monster finds Itox, though, so all across the map some kills being made, but still the advantage for W in both HP and in tanks. Well, Barbarian says goodbye, Clerf. That's a very important kill.
That removes the light tank for W. That removes all planes that were available, and all of a sudden The field is wide open for a monster that still has 2000 HP in his RHM. He's going to be the playmaker currently, trying to capture a strike. I believe he was reset somehow. That was the baby strike coming out of Nepal here. But as it currently stands, not a lot of abilities up and available for W. Meanwhile, monster level 2 plane. That can really change the tide of battle, especially since Lukin's position is known about, and he is very low HP.
Lukin, Piotr is spotted out as well. That's Franak giving one to Piotr. Piotr tries to retaliate, doesn't find it, using the buildings as cover. Franak bouncing, has one more. Doesn't have the spot on Piotr anymore though, might. Ooh, Mentos comes in on the flank against Panther Fury, finds the kill as well. A brave play, but a good play on top of that.
Mentos also sees Barbarian, who doesn't really have a lot of HP available, but if Mentos commits, that is going to mean that he will open himself up to a lot of punishment coming in from the field here. Currently, the Batchat still reloading, so Mentos is going to completely assassinate not one, but two players as Piotr on the field falls as well, finally, in that IS-7 towards his former teammates.
Still very playable, I would say, for hit and run, especially with Monster's HP in that bush line. Being annoying, he can even take the strike in front of Franak. And with Franak covering, and he'll do just that. When they do that, that means Lukin dies. And then they have a 2v3, a playable 2v3.
Yeah, I think the problem here for hit and run is that Monster is actually one clippable normally for the Batchats. Finally, the info tower gets used, so all of the W tanks were spotted here. Lukin immediately gets replaned, I do believe, and yeah, out comes the strike, the kill comes in. 2 versus 3, and Monster immediately gets a replane, probably will take the info tower as well. And all W can do is, I guess, play for a lot of strikes and wait for a mistake by hit and run that still have the tank disadvantage to make up for.
Yeah, but they have that light. They have that sneaky light. Mentos is coming closer now. Nepal as well. They're going on towards the cap.
I mean, they want to force the hit players close, which I guess is the correct move, because there are no strikes available for the team of hit and run. They had to use that on Lukin in the Type 5. So I guess the perfect point to apply pressure to is the cap. Monster uses, I guess, the info tower. Now in will come the plane as well. That's going to spot out Mentos and Nepal for Franak here, who realistically doesn't have a lot of HP to play with. Monster peeking, investing some of his HP. And now the Batchat is going to peek. Mentos going down towards one shot. Good play by Franak. He goes down to a one shot. Yes, but he takes a player out of the game. He is probably going to die for it because Nepal is going to peek and Monster's whereabouts now known as well. So the 1v2 for the team captain himself.
Yeah, but it's on 600 HP. Nepal is chasing. Monster will make it out. IOS is coming from the other angle, though I think they know that Monster is running away. I think they're going to catch him as well. IOS sees Monster out in the open. Monster gives the shot, but IOS will finish before Monster gets over. Another nail biter, but this time W coming out ahead.
Yeah, better end for W in round number 3 in between both of those teams. And now W actually ahead in the matchup. It wasn't an easy round, but they end up in the late game here outplaying Hit. I guess the light tank just not finding enough impact in the late stages of the game. And so, yeah, I think W reward themselves with a hard-earned but well-earned
Thinking back about it, killing Lukin early with the strike was a mistake.
Yeah, because then they had no resources available to reset the cap with. I guess it was a logical thing to do, and maybe not even the wrong thing to do, but the reaction by W, yeah, blowing Hit out the water then.
Well, nonetheless, 2-1 for W.
Yes,
DJ with the overpush though against Piotr, that was... Oof.
Yeah, I think the whole play by Hit on towards Piotr was a little bit of desperation, because they were getting outplayed in the neutral objectives, so they needed to do something. They needed to surprise W, but of course, those guys had enough guns then available on the field to just punish Hit for that, and there was so much damage taken in the push.
I mean, Monster getting 1.8, I felt like you know, it's not that much actually for how long he was alive.
No, he gets 2k assist, I guess, because he was planing out like the light tank. So the assist that he actually got was extremely valuable. But yeah, for how long he was alive, that's not a lot of damage.
I mean, it would be something if W steals this one away.
Yeah, then again, you could say that, you know, round number 2 and round number 3 here, they it was close, don't get me wrong, but I think W was the right team to win them.
We'll see if it continues on and goes down, though. It's funny that this could have been a lot different. All these rounds have been pretty close, outside of the first one, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. I think if you're hit, then you probably want to wake up at this point in time, because I guess for both teams it's true that they need all the points they can get for the placements in the regular season, but I think hit, they're still in contention, I guess, for first place. And that one, of course, is very valuable as well in terms of seeding.
I mean, for hit and run, it doesn't change that much, though, even if they lose this, because it will all be decided in their final match against Cashback, right?
Then again, 4 points is 4 points. I mean... And what happens if W wins today and the next day, and hit loses today and loses tomorrow? Sorry, loses on Thursday.
I would have to look at the standings.
Yeah.
I don't think it changes much because Mafia lost already.
Yeah, but it would be 8 points for W then. Maybe they would overtake someone. Anyway, though, that is all theory crafting. Let's get down to some gameplay. Hit and Run coming out after 2 defeats in a row with an IS-7, a type, a Batshot, E50M, 140, E4, and RHM. Everyone getting to play their favorite tank.
W50B, IS-7, Mivi, W50M, Bliska, and an RHM. Looking a bit more aggressive, especially that Bliska, right?
Yeah, the Bliska, the W50M. W definitely want to initiate a fight. Also, Piotr coming in with the 50B. So W really looking for the brawl, whereas Hit and Run, I mean, maybe extended kind of brawl-ish. But yeah, I'm also quite curious where exactly that MBY is going to go.
I'm not a fan of the Mivi on this map.
Me neither. But maybe W has figured something out. 3 tanks immediately
guess
going
could go in the hole
cap as well. Yeah, I guess. Oh, Piotr with the 50B getting found by Monster in that RHM. And, well, with the 50B, you're not a tank that wants to get caught out in the open, because apart from your frontal hull, your turret armor, non-existent, and Piotr is going to get pushed by the IS-7 here. Of course, he's a very tall tank, so he can retaliate into the IS-7, but now he is all spent. The 140 getting found as well, and in comes the W hit squad on towards Pan's Fury, but to be honest, that's a chunky Type 5.
There's a chunky Type 5, but some more things are happening on the offside. Flurf is winning against Monster, but not before Ketsai has something to say about a good track shot coming out onto his Monster as well, but now Klurf getting pushed by Ketsai. Ketsai with the Ram as well. 140 took a lot of damage being spotted in that bush road, but it's not going to be damage enough as Klurf will die now against Ketsai. They are finding retaliations, however, in return. Panzer Fury is dead. Ketsai still spotted out for a while. Monster down towards the one shot, but there will not be a finish, I think, unless that is a very, very long play. Monster, is he still spotted? Yeah, he actually is. It's a very long play. It's a level 3 play. Niles finds the kill. Monster does not escape, so light for light. Barbarian will make a peek against Mentos and slap him with that E4. He will now be backing off, but not before he takes a little bit more damage from both sides. Ketsai and E50M as well. And it's playable for either side. 5v5, the light tanks are dead.
The light tanks are dead. Looks like one of my random onslaught lobbies. Let's see which one of the teams is able to salvage the situation here. Of course, Hit and Run with the problem that T-Sec is one strikeable in that IS-7. Also, the Inspire Medium, pretty low HP on those Inspire Mediums, is a resource that you don't really want to spend early.
Niles taking a shot from Ketsai, who's in the bushlines, playing a good game of World of Tanks there. With that 140 Barbarian finding a good shot against Ios as well, who's forced out of position. Nepal and Lucan splitting up on the cap. Mentos will join this to put some more pressure on. They're going to try and dodge the strikes, but it's not going to happen. Nepal getting found by DJ. Lucan getting found in return as well, and the damage is stacking up, and Lucan has the push now. Nepal is dying in the meantime as well. This dodging of the strikes is going to lead into a bad situation as DJ finds that kill rather easily. Barbarian is tracked though, so Ios has an opportunity now, but Barbarian will get one more out. Good job to Barbarian, finds the kill. 4v4.
4v4 indeed, and now Lucan has to push against DJ here. He needs to make something happen with that 2.2k HP of his, because elsewhere his team is dying. Mentos getting pushed by Franek in that full HP bat shot. The Bliska of Itox is going to come in against DJ here as well, who doesn't find the track shot. DJ going to get completely sandwiched in between the Bliska and the E50M. Good strike placement though, it's going to hit home on 2 tanks here, but DJ is not long for this world. Gets one more out. We're left with a 3v3.
3v3, but I think Hit and Run is leading this, especially the bat shot as well is a very powerful tool and asset. Katsai with a good relocation. Does he get one more shot? No, he doesn't. He does spot them out, but now they're kind of chasing into nothing because Franek is out already.
Franek out already, and also the I-7 of T-Sec is able to make a difference here with capturing the artillery strike. I think this is prompting W in towards a push. Ios goes down. One strikeable for the strike now as well. I think Lucan might continue on against the Batchat here. Does he get a shot in on towards him? It looks like it, as Ios actually dodges the strike, but barely.
Dodge from Ios though. Itox and Lucan, they're now chasing. T-Sec is stuck on the wrong side. But they're not going to peek that, and I think W is starting to shit a little bit here. Katsai getting spotted out by Ios. Ios gives him a shot. Is that enough to get a heal off? No, it's not. But Lucan needs to somehow find T-Sec, I think, and that's the tough one. Or Katsai. He needs to take the D50M and drive at somebody.
Yeah, he does get spotted, however, by, I believe, the 140 of Katsai, who drives on the outside, is going to revert back into the bush line. Is he going to take more damage for that one, is the question. Lucan does see him. Good shot, 395. He's going to be reduced to one shot. T-Sec also getting spotted now with the IS-7, but the blind shot by Lucan actually not connecting.
Itox in the cap again now. Franek going around towards the one line. If he takes the strike, he will kill Ios, and I think that for W would be the end of this game, so somehow they need to use Lucan and Itox.
Yeah, they need to get their HP into the game. Katsai spotting out Lucan, chooses not to blind fire because of the risk that he gets blind fired back. Itox in that Bliska is going to get spotted by Franek, who puts a shot in to reset the artillery strike as well. And of course, these kind of ranges are not what the Bliskavitzer wants because of the damage drop-off.
Itox using the ability, trying to cut off Franek. It won't happen. They're now cutting back across the open. Itox is spotted out. The cap gets started by 2, so they know that for a second there was 2 tanks. And now what?
I mean, Ios has the problem that with the buffed 140 alpha, he is a possible one-shot for that tank as well. As he makes his way towards the IS-7, gets spotted on the cross. However, Lucan coming in as well. Franek, the playmaker, with that very high HP Batchat coming in to Katsai. One more shot into Lucan. All of a sudden, Itox is here with the Bliska, but W, they're bottled up with those 3 tanks. Can't really push.
They soon won't have a choice anymore, though, because Franek has taken the strike, and that leaves Ios as a one-shot trying to survive. He's going to have to run away somehow. He gets spotted out. Whew, narrowly dodging Katsai, but Ios is in that hole and Franek has the strike, so I think he's dead.
Yeah, he's just gonna die to the strike. Franek to pick it up with the Batchat, and all of a sudden it is a 3 versus 2 hit and run, more HP available, and they have this very high HP Batchat of Franek that is probably going to Fortnite dance his way to victory, as T-Sec ends up trading, well, spots with Lucan, but not shots, as both of them end up not penetrating the target.
Really clean endgame from Hit and Run, to be honest. Really, really clean. Playing around the map, not really ever getting caught. Yeah, Katsai took a shot, but in return they extend the match for long enough to find that Yol tank and this Batshot with high mobility, high camo. A crucial asset for that.
Yeah, and also the constant threat that the Batchat could just, you know, solo any of the tanks remaining. Because, well, that is just what the Batchat is built for. Late game assassinations of enemy tanks that are singled out. So W kind of needs to stick together, but at the same time they don't want to, but they do. So yeah, it's a case of being damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Franek taking another strike, and now Itox and Lucan, I feel like they've driven across the city like 17 times so far.
Yeah, I mean, checking out the streets of Ghost Town, but they're not really finding any new openings, and that is the problem for them. T-Sec also is going to take a secondary strike, and as soon as that happens, Itox in the Bliskavitza is one strikeable because he doesn't have, or one salvoable by the strikes, I guess, if that makes sense, because he doesn't have ability up right now. Lucan is going to spot the I-7. He finally takes him out of the game, but, you know, the problem is still remaining. Like, it doesn't change that Franek has a lot of HP and a fully loaded magazine.
Lucan dodges Franek, but he doesn't dodge the spot from Cat's Eye. Cat's Eye might even look to shoot, and now moving to try and get that spot. Pops the Inspire as well. He has Franek in quick support. Lucan, can he get there unspotted? Franek in the meantime maybe hunting for the Bliskavitza. Good shot from Franek. Good shot from Cat's Eye. The 1-2 combination. Itox last one standing. And it's going to be hit and run in a long game. But a deserved win for them. 2-2.
2-2. And yeah, hit and run finally getting the victory in one of those close rounds here against W. So they show that they're not out of it. And to be honest, they're providing us with a very, very entertaining match.
Yeah, extremely close. And I think it's very rare on Ghost Town to see a match in which the light tanks are dead this early. Both of the light tanks.
Both of the light... And, well, to be honest, if... not both of the light tanks die, then I think the match goes on for a lot shorter, because having a light tank and the other one not, the other team doesn't have it anymore, that's just like a crazy disadvantage.
Yeah, and that's last lane from Klurf, you know, the long one, kept Monster spotted long enough. He ends up dying. So, all in all, successful game.
Successful game, I guess, for both teams. W probably happy with the fact that they took a map off Hit, and Hit, I guess, after 2 unsuccessful rounds, happy that they're finally able to close one of the close games here.
Yeah, all in all, it was really, really well played at the end, you know? Especially from Hit and Run side, like very well played at the end.
Yeah, I feel like W was always like this close to committing, but then they always called it off. Like the fact that the I7 survived for so long on like 100 HP was crazy.
No, just the endgame movements were really, really solid, but I guess Hit and Run also just had a bit better tanks for the end, right, as well?
Yeah. If there is one tank that you want to be healthy at the end of it, it's kind of the Batshot, to be honest, because like if you have a, say, 2000 HP IS-7, that's kind of nice, but he lacks the engage potential a little bit that the Batshot has. The mobility, the camo, etc., all of those factors. But that means Cliff and Ghost Town are over, and we are headed to the dusty dunes of Sand River.
I feel like this match almost deserves to go to tiebreaker, right?
As I said, I was hoping for it, but it remains to be seen if we're actually getting there. If I was hoping for my prediction, I would go with the clean Hit victory now for Sand River. But, I mean, if we keep getting those kinds of games, then I don't mind my prediction being wrong.
I mean, I would just like it if you were wrong to begin with, you know?
Oh. Hostile. Hostility detected.
Is it hostility detected, though?
Yeah? Yeah, I'd say so.
Why?
Because you just want me to be wrong for no reason?
You've been doing it a whole season, so what's the problem?
Well, the problem's been there the whole season. Like, it doesn't just go away. That's the issue. Like, my prediction season has been absolutely scuffed.
Worse than that. I don't think you've ever done this bad, you know?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Anyway, both of the teams have playing field leveled. We are essentially in a best of 3, so one map can decide. Hit are bringing double BZ75, CS63, triple E50M, and an RHM.
W, double BZ, IS-7, double E50M for 2DU, and an URA, so no light tank for W. Where Monster needs to pay off his life pretty well.
Well, let's see. W bringing that Udas that we've seen Profuse take purple binos on. So I'm pretty interested if that is the case for him this time as well. But I don't think he does.
From the Western side, you can get away without playing with a light though, right?
Well, Monster getting spotted now in that RHM, but in turn Lukin taking a truck ton of damage in that 430U for a pretty normal cross, but hit and run immediately taking the crown with double BZ75 as well, and there is a double E50M hit squad. We've seen that one fail a lot of times previously, but the problem for Lukin now is there is absolutely no one covering him.
He needs to be very careful in the 430U, but the teammates are relocating in the meantime though, and he does have a little bit of a pocket to play behind, but I think Hit and Run is going to pounce nonetheless. DJ, Franek, they're coming for Lukin. You cannot sit safe everywhere, but the damage taken in return is pretty high. Is there a strike from Hit and Run? There is. Franek shouldn't need to peek this anymore. They have a strike. It's not needed, Franek. Minus 2k, a little bit over eager. Minus 2.4. It's not necessary. He was within the necessary range to kill him. That is a lot of damage unneeded.
At the same time, it is a dead Lukin, so currently hit with the, well, tank advantage, but W look to turn this around. The BZ75 is peeking over the middle in towards the Crown. Pan's Fury, the one to take the brunt of the damage so far, but he's not down, not out. Franek finally dying off screen in the E50M as T-Sec tries to shield Pan's Fury, but there is an Udas as well. It's a lot of W tanks with a lot of angles, and Pan's Fury bites the dust just before Piotr.
The repush is still in full effect though. T-Sec is going to die there in that BZ75, but the Udas of Ios, look how much damage he took for backing away. We saw him at 2k, he's at 700. Mentos will find the kill. They're continuing on towards DJ with Nepal leading that charge, but the damage is ticking up. And the question is, can Hit and Run do enough to somehow play out the endgame with the light tank alive? Klurf comes in, finds the kill. Now we'll continue on. Mentos will take the strike. Itox will push forward. In the meantime, Ketsa is already on this middle strike. They need a long game here for Hit and Run. They need this light tank to stay alive, and they need to somehow pick off Mentos as well. The good thing is that the Inspire tank is pretty low as well. Barbarian does get spotted out. Klurf finds a great shot there against Monster. Drops him towards 900, but drops the plane on him in return. Takes the first. Monster might even find the second. Some blinds going on. Itox might even boost into the base to try and make this final punch. No, instead he's going to go hunting for Ketsai in the middle of the map.
Well, Klurf takes another strike to the face. That's also going to be removing a lot of the buildings there. So maybe the E50M is going to be running all out of cover. Yep, another strike that is destroying the building. So Klurf on 1300. Not sure what he can do, but in the meantime, Ketsai getting spotted in the middle of the map takes a lot of damage for that as well. Klurf towards 600 as Nepal tries to cover Klurf, but I don't think he's going to be succeeding against a full HP Barbarian.
Barbarian will probably end up repushing this. Missing on the first though. Klurf getting some support. That's the first shot coming out. Ketsai in the middle of the map. Caught out by the Udas. Ios with a good peek. Mentos coming as well. And so is Itox. Ketsai getting hunted down. Herded into a corner. A strike comes out as well. Now he's a one-shot for Mentos. I think Mentos might even peek this, to be honest. But ideally he should wait for Itox. But Itox, however, is turning around. Ios spots it out. Mentos now knows that Ketsai is not looking. Finds the kill. Klurf in the meantime training against Barbarian, not doing such a bad job at all, finding another miss, so one more shot on towards Barbarian. Barbarian now will finish him off, but when we look at the situation, it's all over basically for Hit and Run. Nepal needs to play it out cleanly though, needs to wait for Itox. He is the one with all the HP.
Well, but W, they still have 4 tanks to play with, and Ios now taking an artillery strike as well is going to make the situation worse. The good news for Monster is he's not one strikeable, but that is kind of where it ends, to be honest. Ios has to be careful against Barbarian, but I think Mentos should be able to pick up the strike here because Monster has used the plane. He doesn't have one available. Barbarian's ability also timing out. Actually, 0 abilities available across the board for either team now.
Barbarian starting to repush down on towards Nepal though. Going for the 1v1. Nepal gets the first. Barbarian, unless he rolls, he doesn't even hit it. Nepal will shut him down. The Frenchie getting the kill, and now it's just Monster in a 1v4. I don't think he wins this.
No. Normally 1 versus 2 is already a tough ask for anyone if you don't spot with like ample amounts of HP against a couple low HPs, but 1 versus 4, you don't win those, I don't think.
I mean, you never know, but he would somehow have to kill the remaining 3 targets that are low HP, and then I don't know. You know, let's not dream. It's gonna be W on match
Blow up
point.
Itox, you know, in Onslaught when he has rep kits up, etc. I think W are just going to keep building up a nuclear arsenal here and now. And Monster, I guess, hit... They're already talking about the next game. He's just extending the time that his team has to talk about what went wrong, possibly, and what they want to do better next round.
Well, hopefully they would win in the next round, right?
Yeah. I mean, all of our... strike number 1 misses, strike number 2 connects. But yeah, all of our predictions essentially in the dust if W manages to close this round, which seems rather likely.
I mean, surprising. The first round for W looked really bad, and then they came in really strong after.
Yeah. And I mean, so far W for them, it's working out well. That they essentially switched away from this weird comp with the Gorilla and the double batshot opening on Cliff. Yeah, Monster finally getting spotted out, has extended for long enough, and W once again in the lead, and this time around on match point on Sand River.
Yeah, solid altogether from W. This repush was really strong as well, and I think this comes down a little bit to hit and run, taking too much damage in the beginning. Frantic did not need to lose 2.5k. The 430 was 442 HP if I'm not mistaken, which means that, you know, the strike would always kill him. If he's held here, this game could be different.
Yeah, I think you could characterize the E50Ms with one word, and that would be over-eager to deal the damage against the 430U. And while you know, W, they had no one on in their spawn to cover the 430, it seems like a lot of guns were still trained towards the 430U because they really expected that W50M overpush. And to be honest, we've seen so many E50Ms getting absolutely shredded there. You've got to wonder at some point, is it really worth it?
Well, this would have been worth it if they just, you know, took the damage, made him a one-shot, and then survived from that point on, you know? They did a bit more than that.
Yep. Also, uncharacteristic bounces coming out by Barbarian. I think normally he's one of those players with like 92, 95 even % hit rate, but not in this game. 22, 16, 13. I guess we essentially saw all the shots that he bounced.
Yeah, I mean, he was doing really well outside of that, but he was also in an impossible situation, though.
Yeah. And thus, I think the script that we all had in mind kind of gets flipped a little bit. W've got hit on the ropes here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's interesting, but I guess between these two, you always get some sort of a magic. It's either a blowout or some crazy competitive match. And for W, this is going to be a real good for their confidence, as well for the playoffs.
Apart from the first round, every single one has been close here, which is kind of crazy to think, considering as well the trajectory on which both of those teams were coming into this. Like Hit and Run were looking super stable, and W were absolutely struggling, but none of that is actually really showing here, because if you think about it, of the 4 rounds that were close, W managed to close out 3 of them.
But can they close out this one, Gihand?
That remains to be seen. All of our predictions in the dumpster anyway. So, yeah, let's just hope for some good games now.
I mean,
I like that production is essentially rubbing it in our faces, right? Like, yeah, now all of you are wrong. Now you're gonna get to see your predictions.
it's okay, I can live with it. Remember who won last season, Kian?
Who cares about last season?
You guys are such copers, it's crazy.
But yeah, if you're hit and run, I think, what do you fix? Because normally they're a team that strives, or thrives rather, off of the aggression coming out. So really telling players to be less aggressive in the case of last round, the E50Ms. Or do you just get even more aggressive? And I think that is what Hit and Run looks to do this round, because triple BZ75, IS7, double E50M, and an UDES, that looks like a brawly lineup.
It does. W in return. BZ, Miffy, 277, triple E50M, and 140. Brawling is the name of the game for them too.
Yeah. I mean, MVY, I don't really like her on Ghost Town. I can see where they come from on Sand River, but overall, I'm not the biggest fan of the tank.
5 tanks K-line, 2 tanks middle. Only limited tanks go in middle for K-line for hit and run though.
Yeah, they're sending double BZ75 through the middle with the UDES playing the normal crown position. DJ in that IS7, I guess, is going to hurry towards the artillery strike. T-Sec, though, taking an immediate shot of damage. The Inspire already popped for the team of W, and Monster taking a secondary one. Ooh, good shot from Piotr in towards T-Sec as well.
More tanks converging now on towards the middle. It's the E50Ms from W being peeled off. They're chasing down on towards T-Sec and Monster. The damage so far on these tanks not that significant at all. W can make this chase and can continue on. Lucan in the meantime a little bit out in the open. He's strangled behind to try and pick up the last BZ, but is that going to be worth it? That's a different story. He's down towards 1,000. Monster down, T-Sec down, Franek is lording from above. So there needs to be some pressure from W on other parts of the map now, because otherwise these 50Ms in the middle might still be in trouble. Itox wants to go and make this play with the BZ. Piotr's already in. The communication there is maybe a little bit lacking. Piotr is in, but Itox and Klurf are not going. The 140 is helping, but Itox and Klurf have decided to abandon Piotr right now. Then again though, Piotr is still covered by the 140, so he is alright, but it's not ideal either for the side of W. Now they finally pull the trigger. Piotr is the one to ram even right before his death, finds the kill together with the E50Ms, and now DJ going down and out as well. And look at it now, it's 3 things down for hit and run, just 1 for W, which is Piotr, which did the ram. Mentos hiding there behind a BZ wreck, and somehow W make this match one of great fortune for them. A 4-2 scoreline. I don't think anybody really saw this one coming.
Absolutely not. W with this very, very simple, to be honest, overpush in towards the cap, the immediate abandon from hit and run, but I don't really think that it was the right call to make actually with the BZ75s, because as soon as you go into the dried out riverbed, how are your allies actually supposed to help you with the DPM that the E50Ms admittedly have? Like, if they can't shoot the enemies that are engaging you in your BZs, then, well, there's not going to be any help coming out. And so W make this a very quick and decisive round. They claim all the 4 points, and hit and run probably left wondering a little bit what went wrong here.
Well, for W, phenomenal round. They got a little worried there with the play. You know, Piotr is in, the other ones are like not going, but it ended up working out. They chased down those BZs so early on. Was already a big lead though.
Yeah, exactly. The reason I think why the E50Ms weren't coming in was they were very worried about getting shot behind and then just throwing the game by trying to make that play. But yeah, it ends up working out for W beautifully. 4-2, as I said, that is going to be all 4 points that they claim here, and 0 for Hit, who've had a really stellar season, but I guess not today.
Not today, and the pressure is on for them. You know, Cashback won their match, Hit lost their match, so now they're going to be looking at a tough match for Fire for first against Cashback on the final play day, and not going in there with too much confidence either.
No. And to be honest, what's worrying as well is, like, yeah, you can try to save tactics, etc., but the fact is that 4 rounds were extremely close between both of those teams, and Hit was only able to win 1 of them. Like the first and the last round, I guess, kind of win on calls, win on strategy, win on opening, but the other 4, W straight up outplaying the Hit players.
Yeah, I mean, you know, really good stuff there from W. Solid match. You know, they stopped one round of shenanigans and then just solid World of Tanks gameplay after, right?
Mm-hmm. Which is very comforting if you're a W fan, to be honest. But what's even more comforting is that we have yet another match coming up. We'll see you right then after the replays. Well, hello there, and welcome back to the last match of the day. It's going to be in between CTR and Lotus, and it's actually going to be quite the important one because they're battling it out for 5th place, who directly gets to stay in the OLS for next season. But before we jump into the action, a quick shout out to our sponsor. That is, if you haven't heard it yet, and you've been living under some rock somehow, Surfshark. They're the official sponsor of the Onslaught Legends series Season 5, and we are extremely happy to have them supporting the tournament. Surfshark is a VPN that helps keep your connection secure and private, whether you're gaming, traveling, or browsing online. It works on unlimited devices, which is kind of crazy, and it's fast and easy to use. Exactly what gamers need, and maybe banter as well, because I heard recently in the UK it's become kind of problematic to call someone a butthead online. Surfshark has prepared a special offer specifically for you, for our viewers. You can go to surfshark.com/OLS or just use code OLS at checkout to get 4 extra months of Surfshark VPN. You can find all the details, of course, via the clickable Surfshark banner directly below the stream here on the channel. And now, let's get back to the action.
Yeah, from China to the UK, never ends. But going to this next match, CTR versus Lotus, as you said, direct qualification to the next season of OLS is on the line, more prize money, higher reputation. You know, you don't want to be that one going out without a win, but one of these teams will win today, and you know, we all have our favorites, but it's going to be a competitive one, you know, because this is important for both.
Yeah, whereas all the other teams might be already like saving strategies, I think for CTR and Lotus both, this might actually be the most important match of the season here, because it's the most likely one, to be honest, where either of them might be taking points. And I just checked the difference here between both of them. It's currently 3, but we all know with a clean victory here in Phase 2, you can actually take home 4 points. That only applies to Lotus here, because they are the ones trailing with 7. Meanwhile, CTR is on 10. With a tiebreaker victory, it would still be CTR ahead. Like tiebreaker victory Lotus. Now Floki, he's been actually showing up for CTR above 3k DPG, and well, the KD is kind of low, but if your team is losing a lot, you're going to be dying a lot.
Yeah, exactly. The average damage is not that bad, especially if he's playing type regularly. You know, it's not the highest DPM tank, it's a meat shield. KD, as you said, not great, but when you're losing, your KD is never going to be great. But yeah, my man Floki showing up and performing. But as you said, this game hyper important for both these teams. It's going to be interesting to see, because if Lotus take these points cleanly, the score is going to be based on the match difference, the scores between the matches they've played. CTR, I'd probably say, are a bit favored over Lotus in that regard. I think they've taken more rounds from the big boys in their losses, but
I think CTR have also looked like cleaner doing it. Like, some of the strategies have been really good, so I guess shout out to Koidicek and possibly Patras on CTR. Whereas Lotus, I mean, yeah, they ended up, you know, beating up Vulgus, etc. But against the big boy teams,
I think everyone beat up Vulgus. I think everyone beat up Vulgus. Yeah. I don't think saying I beat Vulgus is gonna get you a job on a resume, you know. But no. Yeah, the percentages they show it Czech versus Polish, but. Yeah, CTR, you know, I even voted them to beat W. That was a low moment, but CTR have really, you know, on a tactical level, CTR have played some really nice rounds of World of Tanks in the OLS this season. I've really liked a lot of their tactics. The Rurenberg ones, some of the Pilsen ones come to mind, but yeah, it's kind of do or die here. The maps, Rurenberg banned, picking Tundra. Second time we see Tundra front today. Lotus choosing Cliff and Sand River with a tiebreaker of Pilsen. Any thoughts on these maps?
I mean, CTR, if we think back actually to the first day of the first phase, they immediately opened with a Tundra pick. Not sure who it was against, maybe Mafia, and they ended up taking 2 rounds there. Or was it Cashback? I actually can't remember. I just know that was Tundra, and CTR ended up looking very, very good.
Yeah.
Lotus...
Oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah, Lotus responding with the Cliff pick. I mean, that shows that they're not afraid, definitely, because Cliff is a map. If that you pick only if you're confident that on an individual player skill level you can beat the opponent. And I mean, yeah, after that we'll have to see if we get to it. According to our caster predictions, we are going to see at least one round of the third map being played. According to me, we're going to see 2. According to you, we're even going to tiebreaker, but all of us hold it with the Czech Lion.
Yeah, it's very hard to predict. I mean, we all are on the same level that CTR have performed better this season, not only in the points that they've picked up, but also the way in which they're playing World of Tanks in these matches. I was very much debating. It could be like this could be 4-0, it could be 4-3. I don't know. I just went for the 4-3. Feel Lotus, it's do or die, brothers. Get something done. But yeah, I don't think there's no easy prediction here. But I remember the game you're talking about with CTR. I mean, we saw Tundra today, but the last time we saw Tundra was CTR as well. So they have been picking this map. I think it's a map where you can do a lot. It's a lot about posturing, a lot about chess pieces on the board. So you can do a lot. The only issue is the map is a bit small.
Well, first of all, maybe CTR is going to switch, but first of all, Lotus coming out with a BZ75, IS7, CS63, E50M, and the 140 is so far so normal, but no light tank to spot what might be going on CTR's lineup.
Yeah, CTR, double BZ, IS7, 140, Bliskavitsa, RHM, and 183 millimeters of British steel gets removed. I am highly upset. I think we get an E50M in instead of that one, teasing us until the last second.
Yeah,
That's upsetting.
The players probably rewatched the streams and they see us speculating about the lineup, so he definitely was baiting there. But in comes Herman, gets spotted as well, but that was a very, very good plane by him. Sees a lot of the tanks from Lotus coming out right away. He also possibly saw the CS63 as he gets reset immediately. That's a problem here for Herman because Bocik now has priority over the strike.
Yeah, Herman getting out of there immediately. Definitely a good decision. It was a nice shot by one of the Lotus players, hitting it between that small gap. But opening-wise, Bocik does take that strike. CTR rotating to the north. They'll take that one. Lotus quite heavy in the north here, only keeping the 140 back. I think they know because of the light they can be a bit more aggressive with their posturing here. And I kind of like it. Bocik peeks, takes one, doesn't give one to Floki in return. Tatras has taken a shot. Standard, pretty standard opening here.
Yeah, pretty standard opening with both teams essentially entrenching themselves a little bit on the 3 and 4 line respectively. Slight reshuffling going on by Lotus as well. Bit of rotation because Floki is going to be able to take the strike with the IS7 now. I don't think anyone really can reset him from over there, so that's not going to get contested. Good shot by Woodok into Sokol as well, but so far I think we see how seriously both of those teams are taking this match here. No one wants to be the one to make the first mistake, but here Lotus forming up for a push. That's going to be a lot of DPM, a lot of firepower. That's spotted immediately. Evo in that Bliska with a good first shot.
Yeah, he delivers a really nice first one. Tuka stops there for a minute, but they're jumping onto Floki, but the pen rate is just not there at the moment. Floki might make it around the corner, and then Tuka's going to be in a problem. Face-hugging that IS7. Tuka trying to block. Give some shots in the back, but that forces Toxic to go back over onto the other side. It's not what we want. In the meantime, Ivo picks up Jordan. There's a brawl going on in the middle between Koidicek and Bots, and Frawley and Herman arrive in time. This is not the play that Lotus really wanted, but they're kind of forced into it now. Koidicek and a sandwich in the north getting repushed. It's not going well for Lotus at the moment.
Absolutely not, as Tuka gets singled out with that E50M, takes another shot by Herman. Evo with the Bliska coming in to clean it up. He gets the shot as well, and all of a sudden 3 players by Lotus have been removed from the round. Still 6 guns available for CTR that are even able to peel a little bit. Woodok getting chased, has no loader. Hopefully for him, he has Jack of all trades on the commander, is able to heal the loader as well as Twist with the 140 coming in with that DPM as well, making Woodok a one-shot for some of the high HP or high alpha guns, but they end up bouncing as well. But Woodok falls nonetheless, but in turn Botchans gets felled too.
Yeah, you can see Toxic, he was all the way in the north and managed to run all the way south, but that means leaving Tuka to die, and what looked like a very good engagement by Lotus. They just didn't get those pen rates on the IS7, and because of that, they have to turn the turrets, and Toxic had to run, which meant the other tanks got caught. Now you see, not penning these initial shots really came down to hurt them because they just get taken out one by one, the North, and that it looks close on HP, but this was a roller coaster by CTR. They just rolled over the tanks of Lotus. Really nice reaction.
Yeah, and I mean, Twist doesn't even get to finish Patras here. CTR just with the better focus fire, also very nice reaction against the North overpush coming out from Lotus. And overall, I think we see the emerging theme that we had kind of throughout all of the season, where both of those teams do end up making some of the player mistakes, but CTR, I think, on the tactical level, just very well set up to deal with the push as well. A lot of guns were able to deal damage onto the tanks that were trying to remove the IS-7 from the map.
Yeah, I think replaying the game over in my head, I do like the fact how bold Lotus were to make that play. I think they had a good timing. Bear in mind, in that North, it was a 4v4. And that's 250Ms, a 140 and an IS-7 versus an IS-7, a Blisker, a 140 and an E50M. So it's pretty equal. But Lotus do get that initial... The other two tanks weren't there in the beginning for CTR. I think just bouncing those shots... I don't know if... Can you check how many shots were bounced onto Floki? I'm just curious.
Yeah, give me a second. Floki ended up bouncing...
Oh, you can see only one shot. Yeah, you can see it on the screen right now.
Yeah, damage blocked by 90, by armor 390 only. But he received 2 non-penetrations in total. So actually the pen rate, I guess, was okay. That means just in turn that the focus fire was not there from Lotus.
I think it was. I think a few of those initial shots, I saw one initial shot was a bounce, and I think another one was a non-connection. And these things can make a difference. You know, they needed to delete Floki before the rest of the tanks arrived, and they just didn't, which meant they just got focused out. It was a bold play by Lotus. I like the fact that they're bringing the aggression to CTR, not being worried about it. You know, it's a best of 7, so you have some opportunities to make mistakes here and still come back. I don't think this is the end of the world for Lotus, but yeah, CTR, they weathered the storm well, and they made it work. So yeah.
I mean, also shout out to Herman actually immediately realizing that his play at the start wasn't going to be working out because the 140 of Lotus hit that stunner shot between the rocks. Like, he ended up not being able to get the strike, but he readjusted immediately, took one more shot on the way out. But, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's better than, you know, sticking it and dying for nothing.
It was a bit of a mistake by Herman, though. He can avoid that shot. The CS was spotted going. He had enough time to drive a little bit wide to get in.
I think it was not the CS actually, but the 140 from the info tower.
No, it wasn't the CS that gave him the shot. But what I'm saying is the CS was going into the strike, so Herman had to get there first. I think if Herman goes slightly to the right, he doesn't take the shot, and he doesn't get spotted as well. Like, he went left, so the CS saw him. But these are marginal things that don't make a difference in the grand scheme of things.
All right. Lotus trailing a little bit after this first round, coming out now with double BZ75, CS63, W50M 140, and an RHM this time around.
Sorry, I was just looking at both the lineups. I didn't actually hear which one you read out.
The Lotus one.
God, I'm such an unprofessional. But CTR, double BZ, IS75, E50M 140, and RHM. E5, the interesting pick here.
Yeah, I mean,
not a surprise. I liked it. I mean, we all like the tank, right? It's a good tank. It just has that cupola, which is the main issue. And this is a map of a lot of little hills and undulations, which can cause an issue for that tank. But
once again, good plane coming out from Herman and by Bocek as well. Both of those light tanks are going to be ending up with a replane. Of course, like the players on both teams are going to communicate how many got spotted, so they are all going to be aware of this fact. Immediate try for the info tower by Bocek, but he ends up only doing a shot of damage in towards the E5 of Koidicek, who was trying to blind reset him. But now this means that Herman's plane has been spent and Bocek did not get tapped, so Herman can't replane. Bocek might be able to take the info tower together with double strike that Lotus is actually gobbling up right now.
Yeah, really good of them to take this double strike. It's a nice early advantage. Ooh, just gets it. By Twist. Herman takes a blind in return. Nice shot by Tuka. Stealing these strikes away and retreating. It's a nice opener by Lotus. They're getting away with it scot-free.
And the fact as well that Twist, you know, is the only one to take damage so far. Bocek, though, did get tapped here, so Herman will have the replane available. That means no info tower as of right now for Lotus. Oh, yeah. Floki. Oh.
Yeah, Floki being caught here really badly. He's going to take a lot. Jordan takes a volley on the side, but it's definitely going to be worth it. Floki tracked, no rep kit, ability active, but that's not going to make a difference. He will probably get away here. The BZs are going to need to heavy overpeak because of that slow reload. Does get away. Lotus don't overplay their hand. I mean, isn't that worth it when you look at it? Jordan down to 1500. I mean, it's not a massive advantage.
They took a lot of damage for that, actually. And Floki, even with a good shot in towards Sokol, there is going to be an artillery strike on towards Floki, 477. But that means he's not one-strikeable at this point in time. Twist also taking another shot here. Secondary strike coming out. So Floki is down to a slither off HP. 26 more than needed currently, though.
Yeah. So... No advantage. North being re-pressured, and they're doing it on a pretty good timing. Toxic only being spotted now, and he will be able to decap Voidacek if he makes that peak. Ochem peeks from the side. He does decap it. And they're making the rotation. I think Lotus are going to be a little bit faster on this one if they use those boosts on the BZs.
Well, do they want to use them now is the question. Herman obviously pressured off the angle. Cannot really peek against Tuka because Tarks is there in that CS63. I think Koidacek will be able to take the artillery strike here. And that might be a problem for the team of Lotus because they're all bunched up for this push. Woodog also trying to take the secondary artillery strike. Koidacek finds himself flanked by Tuka now. A lot of damage actually in towards that E5 plane going down as well, and Tuka in the IS-7 position from last round. There's just not a lot of tanks that are able to shoot at him. They cannot remove the E50M as quickly as they need to. Instead, Koidacek, their FC ends up falling.
Yeah, but it's really good at the moment. Bear in mind that CTR are one tank out because of Floki. Woodog opts to take the strike instead of getting his HP in the game. Yes, that strike is good, but in the meantime, your friends are dying and you're going to be full HP at the end of the game. And this Lotus train, it's not stopping. Sokol will go down for this, but Patras will fall in return. Twist doesn't opt to block Frolly. Woodog getting 2v1. Might be able to make the kill. Toxic goes down. Woodog then goes down. Frolly keeps running to try and keep his gun alive, but it's only the 140 Herman and Floki remaining, and a nice move by Lotus. They pushed in here, and the tanks on A3 by CTR, they couldn't make the peaks.
Yeah, Jordan now just chasing Froley down. Even the Ram coming out. I believe Froley also has the Ram skill on his 140, but he gets shut down, and now only Floki remains in that IS-7. He drives away to buy a bit more time for the possible tiebreaker condition, so can't fault him there. Also still alive on 27. The question now for Lotus is just how to close the game the quickest. And Bocek is probably going to be arriving very soon at Floki's position here. And, well, there is not really anything that Floki can do anymore to slow this down. Bocek might even be using HE against the RHM. HE comes out from Floki as well, but the Ram is going to finish it off. And Lotus equalizes the scoreline. It's 1-1.
Yeah, Floki pads his damage a little bit in the end there just to be on the front screen, but nice by Lotus. They caught Floki, bled a fair amount for it, but the rotation was on point. And they did it perfectly, you know, 2 BZs pretty close, and the more mobile tanks more wide. They could isolate that E5. The BZ boosted off the cap, but it wasn't enough. And I can't remember which BZ it was who took the strike while the fight was going on, but that's a mistake. Yes, a strike is really useful in those scenarios, but you're a full HP BZ without your HP in the game. The whole point of a BZ is that you have a lot of health, and you heal it back. If your E50Ms are dying while you as a BZ are taking the strike, it's a mistake. It's not worth it.
Exactly. So I guess Lotus this time around adjusting very, very well, because in game number 1, it seemed like CTR was just set up for whatever Lotus was doing. Here, though, Lotus with the initiative, just ending up, you know, catching out CTR in a position, in multiple positions. I mean, the IS-7, the E5, the E50Ms, all of them got.
Yeah, I mean, Lotus played this super nice. They took both the strikes, they made the rotation, caught Floki, made the rotation again. It shows good gameplay if you're making those multiple rotations. The only mistake I'd say by Lotus is using the strike on Floki. Double strike wasn't enough to kill him. What's the point? You know? You might as well save it for the north if you're going to make that repush. I think it's a mistake to put Floki in a one-shot and then do nothing with it, but apart from that, Lotus were the stronger team here. I really like that play of taking the double strike in the beginning. It's cheeky, but they made it work.
Well, let's see. Tundra getting split. That means we should, if memory serves correctly, be headed towards Cliff, which is a very, very interesting pick, in my opinion, by Lotus, because they struggled throughout a lot of the season with making their own plays work. But the second round of Tundra here gives a little bit of hope. And then, of course, Sand River, a very, very open map to play. We know now that we're getting at least one round on it, if not more. But first of all, Cliff. Do you see any of the teams here doing some, stage 2 shenanigans? Or is it just too memey in such an important match?
I mean, we saw some wacky stuff in the OCS round. Last playday. We could see some of that here. I mean, Cliff is one of those maps. It's a lot about luck, It's a lot about the opening 30 seconds. How many tanks go up? How many tanks go down? You can catch opponents out pretty well. I remember when I used to play Invil in 15-15, I always choose Cliff because it can be a bit of a 50-50. If you send all your tanks lower and they send 5 tanks lower, you kill them all, and then there's just 2 tanks out of the game. So you can get a lot of luck on Cliff. And
on the flip side of the coin, you can get very unlucky on
Well,
Cliff.
of course, but that's why the coin has 2 sides, right? And Lotus being the weaker of the two, when you're doing a coin flip, the person who is the weaker of the 2 teams is always in the advantage of a coin flip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they get, the odds shift more towards a 50-50, I guess.
Yeah, I could play Invil on the rails of Ensk and get out-traded, or I can go 50-50 fight with Invil. It can either way. But lineups, CTR 50B, BZ IS7, Batchat CS 140, and a Fosh B.
And for Lotus, it's more straight up 5 BZs and double CS. I have to say, personally, I'm not the biggest fan of the Fosh B on Cliff.
Neither am I. Too long of a reload, and you can't really use that ability as much. But and it's a bit awkward because the Cliff is one of those maps where you want to do quick peeks, peek and shoot. With Fosh, you can't really do that. But Lotus going for that more simple lineup. In my opinion, when you're a weaker team on paper, you always want to take more single shooter tanks because autoloaders are some of the highest skill tanks in the game. And if you're just playing, tanks with armor that are single shooters, you can peek, shoot, go back. It's a more simplistic gameplay. So I like this by Lotus. Keep it simple. Jordan going to take that balcony position, but Herman's boosting Patras. We'll need to see if Patras can get any shots in on Jordan here. First one, Amarak insta-repair. Bold one by Jordan to insta-repair that. 3 shots taken, but the end of the world.
Well, overpush coming in by Lotus. They realize now that if they stay, CTR is going to have them cornered, and in a crossfire, double BZ is actually going to drive over towards Woodok, but Sokol taking a lot of damage by that Fosh B. Woodok is probably going to get pushed upon, but Evo should still be able to support with the Batchat as well if they overpush. That is here. Herman was sent to clean out Jordan, but in turn, he gets completely obliterated as well. Woodok still trying to hang on here as Evo gets pushed upon by the BZ of Tuka. Has to drop off, doesn't take a lot of damage for it, but he's going to be out of the game for now. Even pulls the full reload.
This is masterful by Lotus, actually. Only crossing 2 for the BZ because they know they had enough. The triple BZ, they tapped Herman on the crossing, which means Jordan can make the kill. Yes, Jordan is dead now, but this is full control for Lotus. They need to make sure they're not overextending here a little. They're pushing in, but that Fosh is on reload. Bear that in mind. He's clipped out. And now that these autoloaders are on reload, we're going to see the HP swing back into Lotus's favor. Floki's trying to run and extend his life. They don't want to shoot Koidacek. Toxic gives him a shot because he has no one else to shoot at. Woodok boosts back up in the 1v1. Yeah, but that 1v1 is less consequential here because you can see Koidacek is pushing forward. He's loaded now. It could make a difference. We need to see that donut fight right now. We need to see if He does pen it. Koidacek clipping out, but goes down. Floki needs to go down here, actually. He's going to be a thorn in their side.
Floki is going to be able to DPM out Woodok here with the bounce against Bochans. And this means that the possibility is here for Bochans to die as he actually keeps him in the strike. Botchik with the kill as Froley has it all to do with that 140, but from lower on cliff, I don't think that's going to happen. Botchans now, of course, has the crossfire, puts one in towards Floki, who goes down towards a one-shot as well. And as the dust settles, Lotus still 5 tanks available, 5,000 HP as well. CDR only 3 left. Evo taking another big one to the face in his Batchat as well. Has been a non-factor throughout basically the entirety of this first round. Gets cleaned up too, and now Patras and Froley are not going to be able to salvage it. Lotus turn around the match.
Yeah, like Ostaki's prediction, but Lotus, this was masterful actually. Double BZ boosting over the mid. You know, in this game, you don't want to overextend. If they send 3, it's too much. And that crossing by Herman, I watched it while we were watching the other side of the map. I saw 1, 2, 3 on that crossing, leaving him on 500. Really nice by Lotus, actually. A little bit of mistakes. I think after you give that volley to Herman and you push down the BZ, you don't really need to do anything anymore. I think they made this game unnecessarily close. Like you tap Herman on the crossing, you let the 2 BZs deal with Woo Dog, and then you just triple cap. And there's nothing, you know, the CS is dead, so that's no mini strike. They have 1 big strike, but that's not going to make a difference. And they're going to need to repush the cap, and the tank that's going to have to repush a cap is the Foch in Crossfire. So nice by Lotus. I think they made it unnecessarily close, maybe a bit of inexperience. But apart from that, really nice moves and nice decisions.
Yeah, I think the fact as well that they took this, I would say, very easy comp to execute with the quintuple BZ double CS63. There is not really a whole lot you can do terribly wrong with those tanks. Whereas it felt like for CTR, a lot of the timings were off. The tanks weren't properly able to support each other when it was actually needed. I mean, Herman going out with 900 damage here. Again, like trying to, you know, peel off Jordan from the position he was in. Also, Lotus just pushing out the Batchat, making it a non-factor. Like, yeah, Evo ends up with 3k damage, but realistically, how much of that was dealt when the game was already decided? So CTR, I think, trying to play a too difficult composition here, whereas Lotus, for them, it was like, all right, that's how the opponent opened. Well, if we just push here because we can, because we have the HP to, then it's won.
Did you see the meme from the Summer Olympics where it was you know, the Turkish guy with the pistol and he got second place with like nothing? That was Lotus in this game. One goes to the balcony on the left, 1 CS goes up the hill, 5 tanks mid, and whatever the enemy does, we'll figure that out later. That was this. It's the most. It's like British spice, you know. It's flour. There was no spice. There was nothing. There was simple good decisions.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then, you know, CTR tried to do all this fancy stuff. They tried, you know, they put like some camera on when they were shooting, and they just collapsed. It was just Lotus had such a simple strat. 1 CS left, 1 CS up the hill, 5 tanks mid, and we'll see what happens. And it worked perfectly.
The only disagreement I have with your previous statement is that you said that, you know, British spices work and they are flour. Like, apart from that, everything else was correct.
Flour is a spice. We put it in pies.
Beyond redemption, beyond salvation. It is. It's a lost cause.
Beans are a spice as well, actually.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway.
Anyway, let's see if this next round is gonna be spicy as well, because realistically,
that was nice.
Speaking for CTR, it's kind of time to show up. Otherwise, they're going to get shut up. For Lotus, the win condition here is essentially, you know, take home all 4 points. If CTR is able to do that, then Lotus won't be able to catch them anymore. But if Lotus wins this cleanly, then, you know, CTR have the problem that both of those teams are going to be playing one of the top 4 next playday on Thursday. And, well, it's going to be a tough ask there to get points. But now, for now, nothing is decided. Lotus this time around with a pretty difficult comp. Double 50B, BZ75, Batchat, CS, E50M, and an RHM.
Yeah, it seems Lotus are using all their IQ with this one, but CTR a bit more simplistic. Triple BZ, triple CS, and a 140. Just looking at the play days next week, CTR will play Mafia, and Lotus will play W. So I'd say, at the moment, Lotus arguably have the easier opponent, but CTR are a little bit the better team if we look at recent history.
But then again, W beat Hit today 4-2, so...
Well, yeah, they also got clapped by Cashback, so I don't know. Phil, I don't know.
Anyway, good playing coming out from Bocek, hitting 6 tanks, only missing the Inspire Medium. Talking about Inspire Mediums, there isn't one on the lineup of Lotus, which is always a decision, to say it like that. The CS and the E50M are going to be absolutely booking it towards Froley in that 140. The E50M, they find nothing. He turns around. There were a lot of guns trained his way, and now Jordan is going to get peppered by the 140 with his shots. Floki has taken the balcony position as well, but Koidicek, the FC, gets absolutely found with that. CS63 gets clipped out. That is 2 crew members not there, and the gunner data as well. This means that, well, he won't have the jack of all trades to, remedy the situation.
Yeah, the commander's dead. I feel like Koidicek's brain might be dead as well. I don't know why you'd stick in that position, but he goes down. Lotus do bleed a bit for it. And in the meantime, I think more importantly, CTR do take the hill here, so I feel like it was a little bit worth it. Iov is stuck, but in the meantime, Tuka is pushing on Froley. Floki is dropping. A ram coming in. Tuka is a little bit blocking, but taking out this Inspire Medium is really good. Jordan needs to give one more shot into Floki, but no, he'll actually use the strike for it. Jordan will go down here unless Tuka can give him a shield.
And that is now problematic here for Floki. Yes, the strike is going to pick up Jordan, but Tuka about to be reloaded in that 50B. He's going to make mincemeat out of the Hurricane if he stays. So it's very much all over the place currently, but CTR has the problem that Woodok in that BZ75 is still stuck in G6. That is a lot of HP. That is not doing anything. Floki, good shot in towards Tuka, is also behind, I guess, a bush, so the 50B isn't really able to find him currently, as Herman is probably trading it out against Botchans, but Tarksik has found Evo with the Batchat, is going to isolate and assassinate the CS63.
Yeah, it's such a strange game. Patras is applying no pressure here. I think he was afraid the Batchat was still on A5, but Patras just let Ivo die around this hill. Such a strange one. He was a full HP BZ on this hill. He's now 1000 HP, and CTR are just letting this slip in such strange ways. Patras should have been bullying this RHM. Koidicek should have left the donut when he saw the CS and E50M coming on lower. I really don't know what
Patras has HE loaded, so he's going to pick up the RHM, takes a shot of damage for it, but I would say that's definitely worth, well, not so much anymore as he takes artillery strikes to the face, but is able to dodge the final one, so he stays alive
Lotus
for
get
now.
Another one.
Oh,
not even needed. Toxic makes the kill. Good shot by him. And now in a 3v5, Floki stuck. Double BC in the mid. It's not realistically winnable anymore for CTR. Such a strange round. Some individual plays coming out on these CTR players are just not it at the moment.
Well, Botchan's healing himself up a little bit, is also going to be reloaded against Herman here, but realistically both of those BZs probably lacking a little bit of gun depression, but you can see the game plan coming in from Lotus. They have the cross shots from Twist. Also Tarksik arrives with the bat shot. He is going to be instantly tracking Herman here, who goes down towards one shot. Fluffs his shot on towards Botchans, and I think CTR are admitting defeat. Lotus are going to be putting themselves up on a match point here, a very important one as well, because CTR do not, they're not on 3 points yet themselves. This means they need at least 2 more rounds to steal that point away from Lotus.
Yeah, my prediction was coming more to fruition. Lotus with 3 points.
More to fruition.
Yeah.
You predicted tiebreaker win CTR. That's going to be 3 consecutive rounds for them. And
I'm still alive in this, right?
Well,
so who's mad in the end?
I mean,
CTR, I didn't believe in you against I believed in you against W. I need to believe in you against CTR, against Lotus. Come on.
well, I mean, they're going to cap it out here just to not draw it out for an unnecessary amount of time. Twist is going to find Woodok here, but it does end up getting capped out. So Lotus put themselves on match point. They absolutely wiped the floor on Cliff with CTR.
Yeah, this was such a strange one. Wojciech going to... I'm not sure if... I'm pretty sure the 50Bs were spotted going in. Or maybe the 140 didn't see them actually, because the CS boosts the E50M, and because the 140 sees that, he runs away. And because he runs away, the double 50B go in, unspotted, which maybe that's why Wojciech stayed. So I'm not sure if that was by design. If it was, it's like 1,000 IQ by Lotus, by the way. But yeah, I think Patra should have done more against the light on the hill. Leaving Iov to get pushed by the Batchat completely for free is a massive mistake that does need to be talked about, because Iov dies, the strat just completely collapses. So yeah, I mean, I really can't tell if that was a 500 IQ strat by Lotus or if it was a 2 IQ strat. The one with the CS boosting E50M to push away the 140 so the 50Bs can get in unspotted. I can't tell if that was by design. If it's by design, it's brilliant. If it's not, then...
You know, sometimes two things can be true at the same time. Maybe they didn't plan it initially like this, but then they understood essentially the opportunity that it provided, and then they went in after it. But yeah,
it felt a bit like a counter, but yeah. I mean, we look at the damage. Floki's the only one with anything. Some of this was in the late game against that 50B, but a little bit disappointing damage on the CTR side. Only 2 tanks above 3k, and
I feel like Patras on the hill, like he's a BZ75 against an RHM. He should also be playing more aggressively somehow against the RHM. Like, not sure where he lost all of his HP.
Well, I think what he did was he boosted into the RHM, gave him a shot, but then the Batchat on the red line in the was it like A5 position clipped him out. I think that's where Patras lost a lot of his HP, and because he'd taken those shots, he wasn't peeking the hill, which meant he didn't spot the Batchat pushing Iov. So, some mistakes by Patras, I think, on this hill. I believe that's what happened. We were watching lower side at the time. That's the logical thing that happened. But, yeah, it's just not good enough, CTR. A team that we've seen that maybe haven't converted the points, but we have seen individual rounds of brilliance against the big boys against them. So, like, sometimes, you know, sometimes it is how you win. You know, maybe they don't get any points for it, but there's a black eye or two given to the Giants, and it's not just luck, it's actual, like, tactical brilliance. So there needs to be more from CTR.
Well, maybe this map is going to be it, because if there is good news to be found for CTR is that they're not out of this match yet. In theory, they only need that singular point for now against Lotus. That means, however, winning cleanly on Sand River. We saw a team today that won cleanly on Sand River. That was W against Hit and Run, so it's not impossible, but the way that Lotus have presented themselves so far, at least today, I don't know, maybe not their day.
I mean, Tundra is one of those maps where it's kind of just like, you know, a lot of things can happen. Cliff is again, like I said, it can be a bit of a 50-50. It depends on your opening. Sand River is less so. There's not bushes. You can't do anything sneaky. I think we're going to see CTR pull some rounds back, actually. For my prediction, I pray so. But yeah, lineups. CTR, double BZ, CS, double 430U, and Udis, and an STRV.
And for Lotus, we have a BZ75, IS7, MVY, Centurion AX, E50M, K91, and RHM in what is possibly the most important round for Lotus in this entirety of the Surfshark Onslaught Legends Series Season 5.
Yeah, and if you live in the UK, Pancake Day is coming up, and we can see Patras is playing that STRV again, so...
And also an Udis, also kind of flat.
Yeah, but Patras flipped. That was key hand. Don't let me have anything, do you?
Not if flour is a spice, no. Anyway, a double BZ75 going towards the cap right now. And to be honest, all of those shots that went their way ended up being fluffed. Interestingly enough, Woodok and Herman also with different kinds of HP. So maybe different modules mounted, different personal preference, an artillery strike being picked up by Evo, as Bocik with that light tank is going to take a lot, and I mean a huge chunk of map control.
Yeah, Tuka getting that strike, but he doesn't have time. There's going to have to be some decap coming in here right now, and I don't see where it's going to come from. I think the IS-7 needs to peek this. He has to go in, but there's no guarantee he actually makes this in time. 2 seconds, 1 second.
Oh, that was a last second reset.
Yeah,
My
I'm not
goodness.
sure if he actually would have made that in time, but now the reaction comes in. Nice shot there by the by the K91, but Toxic is forced to run here. Takes one by Woodog. Herman gives another one.
Fire.
Says Toxic on fire. I don't think he does burn to death, actually. Some good luck on CTR's side, and now they're just resetting a little.
And
A lot of damage in the meantime, though.
Yeah,
I think he has
Bochan's
to peek for the decap.
in the middle on the crown, taking an absurd amount of damage as Trolley probably has the radio equipment just blipping in and out of existence with that UDAS 75 as CTR just going to reset back onto the cap. They are in prime position to win this one because they are also able to take out Bochan's with that artillery strike off the CS-63. Now 3 tanks on the cap with Floki spotting out Tuka coming in, but the 430U hungry for more, hungry for damage. Herman and Woodog also aiming towards that E50M that now is left with less than 1000 HP. Floki coming in hungry for the kill. Herman instead gonna pick it up with that BZ75, and just like that, CTR managed to turn around at least this round here. They need at least one more to make it to tiebreaker, but signs of life coming out from the team from Czech Republic.
Yeah, I think Lotus were completely unaware that this lineup by Lotus, it feels like they're completely unaware that this strat could even have been a thing. Like, there was no plan for decaps here. Absolutely none. Bochan's was forced to make an overpeak in which he took about 2k damage. You know, he takes shots from the 140 in the north, he takes shots from the STRV, he takes shots from the UDAS for this, so that's not worth it. You have to send in the IS-7 close against 2 BZs and a 430 for safety decaps. This simply was not it by Lotus. I mean, CTR played what is essentially a complete counter strat to what Lotus wanted to play, and it worked out perfectly. Lotus had no answer, and it's not even close. Like, the only person who's low HP is Patras, and he's getting... It's like literally not even close at all. 13k HP remaining. That's kind of an embarrassing, like, HP scoreline.
I mean, that just means that whatever Lotus was trying to do, they just got completely, like, countered out. Wojciech missing an HE shell here, but it doesn't really matter for him because he has the ability active. They're going to be loaded into the gun a lot quicker. Froley to steal away the kill, and 7-0 the score here. This means that something with the Lotus strat was catastrophically flawed.
Yeah, they had no plan for decaps there. Absolutely none. This was throw the kitchen sink at that cap circle and hope for luck. And I don't know. From that side, from the western side of San River, cap is a real possibility. We've seen it so often. This is not a strat you should be surprised by. I don't know. I feel like maybe Lotus were a bit overconfident. They thought CTR might want to go for a K-line brawl or something like that. That's why they took the K91. K91 has a small strike, but he has to generate it, and it's just poor by Lotus. Really, really poor. It really feels like they didn't think this was even a possibility. When in reality, this is a strat played about maybe 50% of the time from west side Sand River. Initial boosting 2 BZs into the cap for immediate pressure to force a mistake from your opponent. Just poor.
Yeah, a lack of preparation maybe from Lotus here when it comes towards such a strat. But maybe what they did was designed to counter like 5 other kinds of strats, and they just got unlucky in
1,000 IQ.
Yeah, they just got unlucky in the way that CTR opted to go with this one.
Lotus were playing 4D chess. I didn't even notice there was a Centurion in that game, to be honest. I didn't even see him. I don't in any of the part of the map, but Patras 7k finally making it up for that roly-poly. But yeah, I mean, everyone on CTR 8 except Udog, not the highest damage. I don't know really what happened to him, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. This was dominance by CTR and poor by Lotus. Again, sometimes it's not how you win, but this is definitely how you win.
Well, definitely some tactical preparation coming out from CTR here, and that has been what has kind of carried them throughout the season. So it's good to see that they're bringing this in their most important match here. But as it stands right now, they are still down in points. So I guess it's really coming down to the wire in the second round of Sand River, because essentially if Lotus wins, then they are going to be 1 point in front of CTR. If CTR wins, they take this single point, add it to themselves, and then it doesn't matter in the end who wins the tiebreaker, in the sense that CTR is going to be in front of Lotus anyway. And on the last playday of the season, of the regular season, on Thursday, both of them are facing opponents where they are almost certainly not favored.
What is the tiebreaker map? Because I have a sneaking suspicion this will go to tiebreaker.
Oh, that is a
I've never heard of that map.
that is a very good question. But yeah, production coming in
Hearing my
clutch.
ear.
Yes, exactly. It's got to be Pilsen. I thought it was Runeberg for some reason, but yeah, Pilsen it is. I'm going to believe the absolute chads that we have in production here.
I do love
Pilsen.
them. That
Ooh,
made me look
interesting.
handsome somehow. But yeah, Sand River is a map that's so open that it's hard to do these like kind of hidden strats a little bit. What like we saw some interesting cliffs where it was like Lotus were just better on the technical level. They made better decisions on the first one. The second one, maybe it was 1,000 IQ, maybe it was 2 IQ, but it worked out. Sand River's a bit more simple. You can't hide anything, and I think CTR are going to exploit that. You saw this in the previous Sand River. They applied maximum pressure, and Lotus just collapsed. And I feel like if they do something similar, I have a strange feeling this will go to tiebreaker.
Well,
For my prediction, I pray.
let's see if your feeling is going to become a reality, or if Lotus managed to beat the odds here. Double BZ75, Triple 50M, UDAS, and RHM seems like they're going to take a page out of CDR's strat book, and well, is Patras going to stick that one? It's not the stage 2 that he usually starts with.
Yeah, CTR IS7, double M5Y actually. We all normally always see that as a solitary beast, but 140, 430U, Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. SP2 114 is a bold decision. Again, not a fan, but we'll see.
Realistically, I mean, what does the 114 SP2 bring to the table? He immediately gets spotted by the plane as well.
Jesus.
So, yeah.
The thing is that the tank is so slow, you can't even dodge the plane, you know?
No.
Like, it's literally, it's like a 4005 with a worse gun and slower.
I wouldn't necessarily say worse gun, especially with ability, but a lot of shots here coming in towards Tarksik and Botchans. So they are being bled for going to the cap, but now, of course, it's up to CTR to stop this one. Woodog already in an artillery strike, and I don't think Lotus have taken one, so they have no way to really reset this, as Twist with the Udas destroys a house, but he is not able, most importantly, to stop the artillery strike from getting taken. Plane coming out as well, and I think Botchans and Tarksik realize that they can't stay in the cap. Instead, they want to support the 50M overpush, but it's kind of mistimed. Tuka taking a lot of damage, the strike coming in as well. Finally, though, the BZ-75s arrive, and they put some damage in towards Floki in that MBY, who probably wants to be healing up a bit just to survive one more BZ-75 shot. As Evo trying to pour in DPM, it is an all-out brawl, but the first kill is actually going to go the way of Lotus. Immediately responded upon, though, as the CTR players are scrambling to get their DPM into this fight. As it stands, one kill for each team, but CTR with the HP advantage.
Yeah, Patras delivers another 1,900 because of this tank. Lotus can't play in the high ground with their 50M, so they're forced low, and they didn't make the kills. Herman took next to no damage for that, and even now he can still overpeak to deny that strike. The M5Y, he's just such a better tank for this position. He can peek and give shots into Toxic. Twist has to be the playmaker here. He's the only one giving map control. Same with the light tanker Botsic.
Oh, Herman.
That's a mistake. What a mistake to make. He was 2k HP a minute ago, and now he's dead. Ivo peaks, delivers Tuka down to a one-shot. Him and Sokol, but Toxic has a lot. He could overboost this if he chooses to. CTR, they're not in such a good position as they were a minute ago. Bear in mind, a lot of that HP is on Patras in that 114.
Well, the RHM of Lotus is going to go for the artillery strike. Meanwhile, though, the overpush from Twist, he takes so much damage for this, for Peep King onto Udok, but now Koidicek coming in with that RHM, takes another one, and two from Jordan, a quick 1-2 combination, and the HP advantage that CTR has. It has almost, but all but withered away. Tarksik trying to form a front line here against the MBY that obviously is in the most comfortable position he could ever be in. with it as he removes one of the players without taking any damage. Good play by Evo that equalizes the kill department as well. But this shot going wide here, somehow CTR need to figure out a way to get that MBY in, that 114 SP2 into the game. But it's going to be difficult. The tank, it is not very mobile. It doesn't really have any armor to speak of as Evo 1 versus 4 in here. But finally, Froley coming in with the 140. That is the Inspire Medium getting committed to the fight. CTR, they're looking for the knockout punch. Tarxic bowing out of that one.
Yeah, just such a scrappy, dirty, nasty game by both these teams. It's not pretty at all. Patras finally going in. Tarxic not able to convert that one. Woodog on a one-shot for a strike. Koidicek on one-shot from a strike. There's a possibility for both teams here. Botsic does take the strike. So he should be able to delete one of them. It's really hard to get Patras into this game. This tank is so slow. But there's just massive mistakes by both teams. That peak by Koidicek, it just was not it. They took so much damage for this.
Oh, Botsic strikes Koidicek here with that RHM. This means that not only are the kills now equalized, Botsic is also the singular remaining light tank on the board as Tarxic takes another shot by Froley in the 140. The second one going amiss though, as Evo is going to pick up the artillery strike. So the Lotus players need to be a bit careful about not taking more damage. Patras finally rolling up and around with that 114 SP2. Is he going to be able to find Tarxic here? Tarx almost expecting that one, but he does end up getting picked up here. Once again, CTR has more guns, but Lotus, they have the light tank.
Yeah, Koidicek going down. That was just not it, brother. Like, you need to stay alive in this late game regardless of your HP. You already made the mistake with the peak. Now he's made the mistake with his death. And that can cause really big problems for CTR. Big strike going down onto the Udis. It will connect. So Twist now down to one shot. Nice peak by Patras. That was a really strong peak there. And now it gets a little bit awkward.
Yeah, it's getting a bit hairy here. Jordan also taking a shot of damage. This means he is one strikeable from now on. CTR, they do not have an artillery strike right now, but they have control of so much of the map that surely they will be able to pick up one somewhere. Botsic, he's going to be the playmaker for his team. Level 3 plane available, as well as Evo is capturing an artillery strike. And remember, he is the MBY, 960 HP. So, well, even if Botsic resets him with the artillery strike, that's still going to be a rather healthy heavy tank, as Froley with the 140 is trying to find any kind of opponent, and he spots out Jordan. Is he going to take him out? That is the question. Blind shot. The 50M had gone unspotted, but now Botsic to win it all for his team here in this season. 1v4, the stakes couldn't be higher for him, but 1v4 is also normally a situation that you don't come back from.
Yeah, Jordan giving a little bit of a gift in the late game there. You know, he got spotted and you kind of saw him drive around a bit confused and just die. It was a pretty strange late game there, but yeah, Lotus in this late game, just not it. I feel there were mistakes by both of these teams there. And the fact that the 50M didn't go up and over, they let the 114, the timing wasn't there. The BZs have to go first, take the 114 shot, then the 50Ms go in. And that just didn't happen. So Patras probably has about 5,000 damage probably, which should never happen with a 114.
Well, the artillery strike is going to miss Botsic, but yeah, he's probably trying to delay the game for as long as possible, and your wish is going to come true. We are most likely headed to a tiebreaker, as Froley been driving for the past, I don't know, 3 minutes straight with the 140, is going to single out Botsic in that RHM. Both of them getting striked here, but the 140 as the medium tank, obviously with vastly more HP, is going to finish it off. And CTR managed to stay alive. They go to tiebreaker, and this most crucially means that both of the teams are getting a point so far, but this in turn also means that it only helps one of them, which is CTR.
Yeah, give me those points, baby. I'm going to be level with Daki after this one. But, yeah, this just wasn't it by both of these teams. Like, there were mistakes. Koidicek with that peak, you know, it's the late game and you're the light. You don't peak like that to get 300 damage and take 700 in return. And that makes you a one-shot for the strike as well. It just wasn't it. This K line was played poorly by Lotus. They had an overmatch. They had better tanks and they didn't take it. And this was just scrappy. Really, really like poorly played by both sides. But CTR get the points. We'll move on and forget about how bad this game was and we'll focus on the whole match. But yeah, tiebreaker, Pilsen. Both of these teams have shown decent 6k by Petros, you see? Like,
Yeah.
I saw him hit, I saw a 50M take 1,000. I saw both E50Ms took 1k. BZ took 1k. And yeah, there was obviously other damage as well, but
I think the problem as well was that the timing was a bit off for Lotus. Like the E50Ms started peaking before the BZ75s were there.
And that means they take, you know, they both peak, they both deliver 800, and then they take 900 in return from the one before. So it's a net negative trade, you know? So, yeah, Lotus kind of playing into CTR's hands. The timing was off. The BZs weren't there quick enough. Floki got focused out nice and early. Koidacek, you want to see more damage from that light tank in like a near 10-minute game. But, yeah.
Well, first of all, it's going to be Lotus who will be selecting the side for the tiebreaker because they had the fastest win, tiebreaker on Pilsen, and Lotus actually choosing to go south. I don't think necessarily that on Pilsen it makes like a crazy big difference.
No. I prefer, I think South Spawn is like 51% better. You have a little bit better call pals, I think. But it's not disastrous. Like it won't be decided by side of the map, basically.
Yeah, no, what is disastrous for Lotus is that singular point that CTR have now taken away from them. But yeah, CTR looking really crappy on Cliff, and then looking scrappy, I guess, on Sand River as well, but it was just about enough in the second round.
Yeah, I mean, now what is it? Guaranteed Lotus will be on 8, CTR on 11, so that's still a 3-point difference. If CTR win this, Lotus have no way back. If Lotus win this, they have a way back, but CTR would need to lose without taking any points from the big boys, which is likely. And Lotus would need to take at least a point, or maybe like win 2 and lose 4-2 because of the match difference. It's still a tall order by Lotus. They had an opportunity here. Listen, I have like thoughts in my mind at all times, all right? I calculate 1,000 things a minute. That's why whenever it's like a draw, I let Daki whip out the abacus and calculate it, because I'm thinking about every other possibility.
All right, anyway, though, CTR Lotus here on Pilsen, of course, stakes are high for both of those teams. You would probably prefer CTR to win, just to make your prediction come true. But, I mean, they have made kind of a return into this match. I really don't understand some of the plays that CTR did on Cliff. But, yeah, here on Sand River, first round, beautifully played. Lotus had no answer. Second round, let's say it was a wrestling match in the mud. Both of the teams got very, very dirty. But yeah, let's see if we get some clean gameplay now on Pilsen.
Just two dudes in hot pants wrestling in the mud.
Yeah, I'm gonna let that image linger in your mind.
Oh, do you like Pilsen or not? I like Pilsen. No, I hate Pilsen actually.
Really?
When I play it, I hate it. When I watch people play it, it's okay. But yeah, looking at the lineups here, CTR, double type, 140, 430, double Fosh B, then alright, champ.
And for Lotus, no light tank. It's going to be all shooty power. BZ75, Batchat, WE50M, CS63, 430U, and an E4. Yeah, CTR, I guess, looking to surprise Lotus a little bit with the double Fosh B if they can get the engage off. And of course, the Type 5s as a front line. I don't hate it.
I mean, this is a really hard lineup for Lotus to pull off, to be honest. No lights, but heavy medium on a map that favors light tanks. This is a really hard one to pull off, actually. Like, CTR's lineup is a bit more standard. You have 2 heavies with me, 2 Foshes. I'm kind of surprised they're going to the field, actually. I expected them maybe to play the 1 1-2 line, but yeah.
Well, let's see. Herman driving towards the coal piles. He's obviously going to be the most nimble tank. That also makes him a prime target. Ooh, a good shot in towards the coal, followed up by a secondary one by Evo. This means Sokol needs to turn around, but I think the problem for CTR might be that, well, the E50Ms haven't been spotted yet, but in they go. Bocek trading it out with Evo here. Frawley to support as well. Koidicek with the ability active, trying to get himself in the fight, but this hit squad by Lotus is what makes or breaks the game here for them. Evo still alive, able to get out. Herman spotted out as well in that RHM, taking a lot of damage, but he should normally be able to get safe as the Type 5s start the march of the elephants.
Yeah, but Lotus, CTR didn't do a bad one. They kind of pulled back to more defensive positions. Lotus need to make sure they're picking up Frawley and Ivo pretty cleanly here. Frawley's going to go down. Same with Ivo. Herman goes down as well. And it's just collapsing for CTR. Lotus, they took the time. They took the slightly longer route. So CTR didn't spot them with these light tanks. And now the Foshes are on reload. Two tanks disadvantage for CTR. And these Type 5s, they have a lot of HP, but they have a lot of HP doing absolutely nothing at the moment. Lotus performing here.
Lotus, phenomenal job, I think, with figuring out that the Type 5s are not the win condition. It is everything else that CTR has, and they just completely bully the tanks of CTR on the coal piles here with all that DPM that they had coming out. As Patras finds Tuka, good second shot as well, but I don't think the Foch B has enough shells in the clip to really take out the Batchat, and this is only going to activate the tanks of Lotus here. They approach the Foch B like a swarm of angry hornets, and they're gonna come in and clean out Patras. He might be able to heal a little bit back with the Foch B, but not that it matters, because the E50M with the ability is just going to feast on the Foch B's HP.
Yeah, it's nice by Lotus. They completely nullified CTR's light tank. I mean, the Herman didn't go aggressive enough, so we didn't see anything. But those 50Ms and 430, they like hugged the ridge on H7, so they were as far back as they could while still getting into the coal piles pretty quick. They took the longer route with the 50Ms, so they were unspotted. I mean, it's a little bit lucky. I think if Herman goes more aggressive, this could have been a different game. But he didn't, and that means Lotus got all of their mediums pretty close unspotted, and they got their teeth into CTR, and they never let go, you know? So, yeah, solid performance by Lotus. They deserve to win this round.
They deserve to win the round, and with this, they also win the match, but of course in tiebreaker. This means that CTR will still be ahead of them in the points, in the standings department. So, well, at least the consolation for CTR there. But yeah, Lotus showing a good last round, bringing this all the way to tiebreaker, ruining all of our predictions as well. But hey, at least not the first time today.
Yeah, very true. But, I mean, it was logical predictions. But yeah, congratulations to Lotus. They are now still alive, which is something, to get that OLS automatic qualification. But yeah, so that's going to be Lotus on 9 points, CTR on 11. There's a 2-point difference that can be made up if Lotus pull out the performance of a lifetime against W. So, yeah, it's doable.
It certainly makes the last matches on Thursday interesting.
Yeah, they need a tiebreaker win or a clean win. If it's tiebreaker loss, Lotus are out. So, but yeah, I mean, CTR did well to get back into it. The Sand Rivers the first one was solid, the second one shaky, but they'll take the point. But I like the Cliffs, actually. I thought the Cliffs were quite entertaining. Same with the Tundras. So, yeah, solid match.
Solid match. And I think at least the better team today won. Like Lotus overall convinced me more in this match. And that also means that this team has done quite a bit of, let's say, development throughout OLS, which is always nice to see. Because if we think back to Phase 1, there... well, CTR also had 3 points, but Lotus had 0.
Yeah, very true. But, yeah, I mean, Lotus, I think this is their first win in Season 2. Not Season 2, sorry. Stage 2, which is good. So, coming out strong at the end, it's the last dash, but you look at the difference, minus 17. Yeah, that there's no way. Like, Lotus need to beat W for all 3 points if they want to stay alive. Oh no, they have more points than I thought they did. I thought they only had 9.
No, 10. It's 4 points total in phase 2, and tiebreaker gives 1 to the opposing team.
I thought it was only 3 points. Okay, so they're on 10. So they could draw with W and still, and if they draw and win, or just straight win, they can stay alive in this.
Yeah, exactly. And on the flip side of the coin, if CTR gets a tiebreaker win or just a straight-up win, then they are safe. So both of those teams are going to be playing very, very important matches. And to be honest, I mean, W, for them, the stakes are pretty high as well. If they manage to get a win, they would be on 3rd place, which, well, it does give more money, but what it most importantly gives you above place 4 is the seeding advantage for the playoffs, right? Because place 4 starts in the lower bracket, while place 2 and 3 start off against each other in the upper bracket semis.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really hard for Hit and Run to catch Cashback at this point. But 4 points, they need to take it clean against who they're playing. Oh, they play Cashback. Yeah.
I mean, then. Cashback haven't really looked like they're in the mood for losing, to be honest. Like,
if that 5 win streak looks a bit menacing, you know.
Yeah, and the thing as well is, right, 5 win streak means that they have won all the matches so far in phase 2, because we're on day 4 of phase 2. So they haven't lost a single round. A single match here. But
this next one is the hardest, like in this group. It's Hit and Run. This is the hardest match they're going into. So, but Cashback this week and last week they've looked so strong. I don't know if they've actually lost a round. I think they 4-0'd W. They 4-0'd Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they 4-0'd CTR or Lotus. I think they probably did.
Yeah.
They 4-0'd Lotus and they 4-0.
I mean, let's just say they're not in the mood for losing.
They 4-0 CTR. Yeah, they haven't lost a single round in stage 2. So they have 16 straight wins of like games. So that's quite menacing, you know, quite daunting to come up against. A Cashback that has won 16 out of 16 games.
Well, anyway, this means that we have one final look at the playdays of the season, which is at least the regular season nearing its end. Today is the 17th of February. Thursday is gonna be the 19th, the last playday of the regular season, where, as we just outlined, with a lot of words, a lot of important decisions will still be made moving forward towards the finals and grand finals as well. They are going to happen this weekend, February 21st and 22nd. A lot of decisions are going to be made there as well. Most importantly, about the prize pool that has grown to, almost 55,000 euros. I think there is still a lot of people waiting, though, because until Thursday, you can still wait and make your decision as to which prediction bundle you're going to buy. I believe Thursday evening or Friday morning, the prediction bundles are going to be deactivated. So need to buy before then, because after then you will only be able to buy the base or advanced bundles. But of course, if you manage to hit the correct prediction, then you can upgrade all of those styles that you bought, not only the one that was in the bundle.
Are you telling me you haven't bought the Lotus bundle yet?
The Lotus bundle? No.
My Vulgus bundle can still pay off. You know, it's like buying Apple stock, you know, in the 80s. You know? Predicting it's going to the moon any day now.
All right. Anyway, here you can also see the token earnings. Today you were able to get 5. On Thursday, you'll be able to get another 5 if you haven't accumulated enough yet. For example, for a Kanonjagd Panzer 105mm, or all the other goodies that are available in the token store. Yeah, immediately we get them on screen here. Thank you for the guys in production. You could get a KV-122, I believe that is, or for example, is that? No, that's not
a poodle.
Poodle.
The mighty poodle.
Some 2D styles, 3D styles as well. Consumables, premium days, expirable reserves. So it's something in there for everyone. And if you joined us late and you haven't been able to get the tokens for today yet. We are going to be raiding, well, a person that's not on screen right now,
My
but
favorite
beautiful
streamer.
Ducky. And there you should be able to, claim them still. That being said, thank you very much for watching. See y'all on Thursday, same place, same time, twitch.tv/worldoftanks. Thank you to Surfshark once again for sponsoring, and see you day after tomorrow.
See you guys.